want me to use mine?
Yeah, you can use yours because I'm still in my house. I'm going back tomorrow.
All right, no doubt.
I was actually gonna go back today. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building.
Get up.
Tap on in. We here.
Get up.
We here. Vasil Lomachenko retires.
Nah, listen, I saw it. They said it's fake news, man.
They said it's fake news?
Yeah, Vasil Lomachenko denies rumors about career ending. According to Boxing Insider Michael Benson, Vasil Lomachenko decided to end his sports career. However, this information turned out to be false, and the account of the insider himself turned out to be fake.
Really?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, that's new. That's music to my ears.
Yeah, so
I didn't hear that part. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah. I forgot to tell you that. We were talking about so much other stuff just now.
Yeah.
I literally had it on my screen right here to tell you that, and we got into what we got into. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's not the case. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I'm so glad that's not the case because I was so disappointed.
Right. And it's Vasily Lomachenko, according to this right here, what I'm looking at here, Vasily Lomachenko denied the rumors himself. So,
oh, thank God. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank the boxing gods. Thank the boxing gods. Thank the boxing gods because I was so disappointed. Enzo said Turkey bought the real Michael Benson Twitter account and somebody made a parody. Oh, thank God.
Right, because about to say they turned it into Ring Magazine. By the way, that Ring Magazine Twitter account is lit, boy. That thing is on fire. The information on there is crazy. But yeah, now there is no more Michael Benson account. There's a Ring Magazine account. That's officially the account that was Michael Benson's account. So if you see an actual Michael Benson account, it's not Michael Benson. He doesn't even exist anymore. They bought that account and changed the whole name.
That's the best news I heard all day. That's the best news I heard all day. Thank you, man. Because Clay, I was so deflated.
Right.
I was so deflated when
I heard about it because I was doing a live and somebody was like, "Yo, Blue just dropped that it ended," and I was like, "Damn, he retired." And I've been kind of like anticipating it coming because I'm hearing little talks in the background about what that would look like. They're already making plans about having Raymond Mortala fight. You know what I mean? Like have a vacated title type of match.
Here's the thing, right, Clay?
Mm-hmm.
I told the members of his team that said he's not going to fight no more.
Right.
And they was just trying to. I don't know if I should say this publicly.
They're trying to leverage and they're negotiating there. Yeah,
because Igis Klimas manages also the guy that will be fighting for the vacant belt. Hold on 1 second, Clay.
Right. Yeah, guys, man. So that is good news, man. But I'm not gonna lie, like I was saying with Blue, I was kind of anticipating something like this kind of happening. So when I heard it, I'm like, there it is. Like, ultimately, I don't want that to happen just like anybody else. But at the end of the day, look, man, what I want is 135 to move. I want it to move. When it comes to these unifications, right? When it comes to these titles, when it comes to championship boxing, that type of situation, I want the division to move. You know what I mean? And ultimately, Vasily Lomachenko, for all argumentative purposes, is holding up the division in his own way, right? I mean, there's other things happening in a division that's holding it up as well to a degree. But you refusing to compete, but still holding on to this IBO and IBF belt, it is what it is, right? Like, so we need you to kind of make a decision, barbecue or mildew, you know what I mean? Do your thing on the pot or get off the pot, right? So, yeah, I mean, he's not retired. That is a good thing, like Blue was saying, but am I that excited about it necessarily? Not really, because he's still on timeout. He's still not going to communicate with us and let us know anything good until the new year comes. I want him to compete, right? So that's what I want to hear him do. And if he's not talking about that, you guys will get to know me as the months and the years go by that I'm not interested in boxers who don't box, right? If you're not fighting, I really don't care about what you're talking about, right? Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? That includes all of them. I think that's my biggest issue I've got with Devin right now, right? It's like, if you're not fighting, I really don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to care. I don't care about what you're doing on Twitter and all that stuff. It's going to be hard to get me. It's going to be hard for you to get me to talk about you if you're not fighting. It is what it is. Now, Tank going to call him out, the Dirt Gang boss. Now, is Tank going to call him out? I don't know. Who is Tank going to call out? Maybe that is Vasily Lomachenko. That's a good one. Hey, Dirt Gang boss, that might be it. Maybe that is what the call out's going to be. March 1st, you know what I mean? End of the first quarter of the year. Maybe it is Vasily Lomachenko that he actually calls out, right? Maybe it is. I got a feeling that it's not, though. But at the end of the day, look, come on, Vasily, compete. You know what I mean? Even if it's against a mandatory, but more importantly, in my opinion, ideally, I would love for him to defend his title, either from a Remy Mortala or, tap into some unification fights. You know what I mean? Hey, with that last statement, my brother, I just subscribed to your channel. Oh, man, thank you, Motorsports. Thank you, King. Man, I appreciate you. Thank you, King. Thank you. Yeah, we keep it. We're going to try to keep it thorough, man. I'm saying be as accurate as we can be and talk about this boxing, man, 100%, man. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? But we're going to try. We're going to try, you know what I mean? Salute to everybody in the building.
I so hope that we get the fights. That's the greatest news I could have heard all day. This is literally the greatest news, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I want that, to me, if he's not retiring, the only logic thing for him to do is unify. He ain't gonna, because it's in his brain to retire, right? The thought is there. The fact that his team has told me, like, it's 90% chance he retires. Now, if he decided and he saw this come out or whatever, and then it's not true, and he decided that he felt the need to tell you it's not true, then that tells me that he ain't fighting. He ain't gonna do unless it's a tune-up, because he simply, you know what I'm saying, been out the ring, whatever. He want to unify the belts.
That's the only thing that makes sense, you know what I mean? And I've stood on it from day one. It's speculation from my perspective, but I'm also trying to just be on a business level to say that if Vasily Lomachenko's in the boxing game at this point, the financial compensation has to make sense, right? He clearly has expressed very clearly that he's disenchanted with the sport in general, right? That if it was up to him, he probably would have retired already, but he's trying to show respect to his father and carry it accordingly. But whatever the reason is that took away his motivation on pulling the trigger on putting that fight together with Gervonta Tank Davis, rumors circulating that potentially the money didn't move him, then the only thing that's going to move the money is the unification title fights, right? It's not these mandatories. It's not fighting a Raymond Mortala, or it's not fighting these fights. Those are always going to be free, especially with Bob Arum. Shout out to Bob Arum. He has a lot of faults, but one of them isn't making non-pay-per-view fights pay-per-view fights. You know what I'm saying? That's not something he suffers from. So if he's trying to get in big fights, he's talking about pay-per-view, he's talking about back-end money. This only happens inside of the unification conversation. And then when you got Gervonta Tank Davis in your division, you have Shakur Stevenson in your division, there's money there clearly to be made. The question is whether or not you're willing to do it, A, and B, who has the price tag that's going to move Vasily Lomachenko. I think we could just be honest about it and say Turkey is the one with the money. Him and Shakur probably a lot easier to make unless the PBC is able to get a bag up clearly bigger than the one they were offering him to fight Tank previously, right? So it is what it is. Let's see how he feels about it. Let's see who he's negotiating with. Let's see what kind of things that Vasily Lomachenko and his team are trying to stir up in boxing and stir up in the 135-pound division, right?
Yeah. And shout out to Chris Legg, man. He said all these wrenches in the chat and still only 14 likes, shaking my head. Facts. That's facts. Yeah. We got more wrenches than likes. That's nasty work, man.
That's just lazy too. Y'all dropping the ball. Y'all know what it is, man. It takes nothing for y'all to fall back and hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Don't be ashamed of yourself.
Right.
Redeem yourself. You feel me? Hit the like button.
Alan Day, brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. Ellerbe is such a stain in boxing philosophy the double O's, brewing fights is a myth. The best of the best should always fight in their prime. I agree. The fact that he just turned his nose up to it, it's just nasty work.
But
Cameron Fields, Queen.
I'll be honest with you, Blue. I know this already about it. I know that's what these dudes. I've heard the conversations I've heard them have. So it's just exposing. It's actually there's actually a relief to it. To be honest with you, that at this point in the game, the transparency is there because there's nothing to lose. He's already making his plans to move on to his next business move. He's making it clear that he has no interest in the boxing space anymore. The only interest he really has left in the boxing space is in Tank Davis. Tank Davis has expressed to the boxing space what he thinks about the boxing space. So what else does he have to do but be transparent and tell the truth and be like, in all honesty, blah. You know what I mean? As far as boxing is concerned, he wasn't bringing that to the space. Like, to me, Leonard Ellerbe has always been a Floyd Mayweather do boy, you know what I'm saying? And, ultimately transferring over to be a Gervonta Tank Davis do boy, and really has never done nothing significant in the sport, in my opinion, that made me feel like he was pushing the culture, right? He just was hustling, getting some money, moving, in a way to get money and not in a way to move the sport forward. That's why his prize fighter that he celebrates isn't on the same page as moving the sport either way. So Tank saying he's going to retire, I'm not upset at it. I'm okay with that, to be in all honesty with you, bro. Do I feel gypped to a degree? Yes, but it also serves as a lesson, as an example for boxing fans, for this to come full circle. If Tank Davis were not to give you guys any of the fights that you want, well, then you know how to treat the next boxer who tries to be the face of boxing, sell you $80 pay-per-views, and not give you fights. You know how to deal with it. You've seen this before. Don't let it happen again. We push these fighters like we're supposed to accordingly. They give us the fights we want. They compete for legacy. They go for championships. They go for unifications. They go to fight generational talent, and we'll support that. But we're no longer going to pay you $70 to $90 to watch you fight people you're pulling out of some hat that we've never heard of and that we can't make any sense of as to why you're fighting them instead of somebody else. Use the example. Boxing learns from this, grows from this, if everybody looks at this the right way. You know what I mean? Goodbye. I appreciated what you did, but we know what we know now, and we can't unknow it. It is what it is.
That's all facts. Peace buzz to the queen, Miss Rain. She's in the building. Drop the bombs for her, Clay. Drop the bombs for her. Oh, my best friend is in the building. Drop the bombs on my brother, Coogie G. He's in the building.
I don't know why I felt like that's the way you say it.
Yeah. Dropping that dub on your boy Blue and Clay in the super chat. He said, Europol, just showing love, Brody. Love you, King. Love you too, King. Much love to you, King. When you fighting again?
Hey, he fighting in that picture?
Nah, not in that picture. He got
no offense, Cookie.
right now. He 2-0.
That's a nice, jumpsuit you got on, by the way. Nice little sweatsuit you got on there. Yeah. I just,
doing it up for us gentlemen over 40. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Putting on for the gentlemen over 40.
No doubt.
Yeah, I can't wait when you gonna shake again, bro. I'm there. I'm in the building again.
Cinnamon Savage and Clay. No, I mean, I didn't want to. My bad, bro. I don't know, bro. Pause.
He fought on the Shane Mosley card.
Okay.
Yeah, he fought on the undercard Shane Mosley joint.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Band up. What up, nephew? So yeah, Clay. I just don't. Me personally, I just feel gypped. I don't understand. How do you frown your nose up to these fights? Like, shouts out to Clay because he sent me the clip and got me to watching the interview in its totality. And then I watched the interview in its totality, right? Mm-hmm. I was in the gym, I got tired of listening to my playlist. So I was like, let me tap into just listening, you know what I'm saying? It's the perfect time, right? Mm-hmm. And when it was over, Keyshawn, Everything Boxing and Sports, he did a video on it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. And then Keyshawn said, look at Leonard Ellerbe's face. Mm-hmm. And I'm working out in the gym, so I'm not looking at the phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm listening, but I'm not looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back. Now I'm like, when Keon said that, I'm like, right, let me go back and look at it. And the faces he's making when they bring it up,
Right.
and he's like, man, they look, they good little fighters, but they ain't ready. What? But there's levels to this. What levels? I'm confused, man.
He's speaking exclusively based off of data on what they do on pay-per-view and what they do as far as packing up big arenas, and more so the pay-per-view more than anything. When Leonard Ellerbe speaks, he's speaking specifically from money in, money out. He's anticipating engaging the amount of money he foresees making on the fight, and he doesn't believe a fight should be made unless it's the most profitable thing that could be made. He's never shown me any evidence of anticipating or looking forward towards legacy, towards saying these fighters are generational talents, they do need to fight. His whole thing is, how much tickets do they sell? How many pay-per-views do they sell? Who have they been a big show with? Brother, this whole entire PBC experience, you know what I'm saying? This experience that I'm going to call it, called the PBC, has been an interesting experience, to say the least, right? I mean, we're talking about a company that has gone to every event they do. They're charging you for it. You guys are young and don't know of the world Meat and Blue come from, where pay-per-views were actually reserved for the biggest of the biggest fights, big championships, unifications, generational talent fighting each other. This company has translated that whole entire version and era of boxing into everything's a pay-per-view. Everything's a pay-per-view. And they figured it out. They figured you guys out because we're in a world where everybody's into instant gratification. And what aligns with instant gratification? Knockouts. Big knockouts. And it don't matter who's being knocked out. We just want to see the knockout. They mastered that. They understood. They did it with Deontay. They did it with Gervonta. They did it with well, not with Errol, because Errol, now, you have your fighters who deliver that kind of stuff, but they are focused on legacy. So it's strap season with Errol. He happened to be somebody who was driven by the belts. So he gave it to both of them, right? He gave you the exciting fights, but also we got to see the legacy. But that's what they did. And now they stifled the true traditions of boxing, which is how pay-per-view and what pay-per-views, what the purpose is for pay-per-views, as well as giving us fans. They starved us of the legacy fights, and they kept on inundating you guys with a bunch of eye candy, right? And we got caught up in it. And now they get away with this nonsense. And that's why you have Gervonta Tank Davis saying, why would I fight Shakur Stevenson? Why would I do this and that? That's why you got Leonard Ellerbe sitting there being interviewed, talking about Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis and all these fighters that we know stylistically make great fights. But he'll have you believing that these guys aren't ready to make this fight yet. That's why I told you guys when he did that interview with Eddie Hearn and everything, and he was saying that the timing isn't right. And Eddie Hearn responded and said, what? Yeah, we understand. That's why we're putting together these fights together, so we can build his what? Market value. That's to show you right there the evidence of the reason the fight didn't happen is because Shakur Stevenson hasn't headlined pay-per-views. He doesn't make the money that Leonard Ellerbe, one of the handlers of Gervonta Tank Davis's career, deemed fit as a fight to put in front of you guys. That's just how it is. You guys can push back. I know there's, I normally don't go like this, but I'm going like this because it's getting to the point, in my opinion, where we're going into a new era of boxing. Shout out to Turkey. I'm always going to shout out Turkey. Looking at the event getting ready to happen right now, watching the grand arrivals today, seeing how much that crowd out there is loving legacy, understanding what they have in front of them, watching Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk go at it for a second time. The space is changing, and it's changing to where you guys are getting a taste of what legacy feels like. And a lot of boxing fans are a big fan of legacy, it turns out. They're loving the legacy that's in front of them. And this old version, which clearly is not making the money y'all thought it was making, because Leonard Ellerbe is walking away from the sport with Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is walking away from the sport as well. So all the profit and all the money that the PBC was paying these fighters don't mean nothing, because today these fighters these fans want to see legacy. That's what we win from it. And I've been saying this from day one. We don't spend the money with them. We don't drive the nice cars with them. And we ain't laying down with their pretty women, bro. What we're watching is the fights. And there's nothing better than a legacy fight for a real fan of boxing, period.
Man, Clay, say that again, man.
There's nothing better than a legacy fight for a real fan of boxing. Nothing more entertaining, nothing more to look forward to. If you're a real fan of boxing, legacy boxing is the end all be all to our existence in this space, and we gladly give you our $70 every damn time if you check that box. Period.
Yeah. It's just disappointing, man. It's so disappointing. Coogie G, he back in the super chat, dropping another half a dub on us in the super chat. He said, LMAO, right now, I'm not sure. They got an over 40 league I'm trying to get into. I got maybe 2 more joints. Pause. That's wicked wording in me. The WARP league is crazy.
that was wicked wording, bro. Yeah, but you got it. You know what I'm saying?
That's wicked wording.
He said, I got 2 more joints. Yeah, big pause. Big pause, man.
I got 2 more joints in me. It's crazy.
Yo, crazy, bro. Well, that's all good, baby. You put the pause in there. Diabolical.
Facts. KP from KC5 dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. Boxing on life support, and he's selling fans HBO championship boxing cards. PBC tapping pockets in a recession. Not mine's. # stream team.
Church.
Salute.
And you know what? Once they go, it's hard for them to come back. Once they go stream, they see how clear it is. It's hard for them to come back to paying the $70. That's why I said it a long time ago, and I caught hell for it. I don't even care no more, bro, because we've been proven right so many damn times. It don't even matter. Hate on me now, love me later. A Tank Davis Lamont Roach fight could be reasonably argued as a fight bad for boxing because it's going to motivate fans of boxing to illegally stream it because it's not worth $70 to $90. Those fans are fans that you are potentially losing that will never come back to the pay-per-view space because once you begin to stream, you know what I mean? I remember Trick, a rapper from out of Detroit, once said, why pay you? You know, he was talking about deals going bad, right? Where people who go to buy illegal drugs going to go deals. And he says, why the deals go bad? Why people get murdered? Why? Because they walk up on the scene, they look at the guy who they're looking at giving a deal, and they go, why would I pay you something I could take off you for free? You a square. You feel what I'm saying? And these are how these crimes happen. And this happens in boxing. Why pay for any fight now? Even the legacy one where this streaming app is available to me. Why would I go back? It's hard for me to go back.
It's like this another saying, right, Clay? If you step out on your wife, don't step out on her with somebody that look better than her because you might not come back.
Crazy.
You might not come back.
Yeah, man.
Equal or less than, just for fun. Don't do it. Don't do it. You ain't gonna come back.
Listen, bro, just call it quits. If you're trying to call it quits, call it quits. But stop playing yourself and thinking that you got this discipline.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's the sport of boxing. Once people start to indulge, T-Bugs, what's up, family? Once you start to indulge in that, what Two-Tone called it? The Fire Stick Boys?
Yeah, the Fire Stick Boys outside. Fire Stick Boys.
Once you start getting in that Fire Stick Boy zone,
listen,
it's
Blue.
You can
always find something to do with $70, bro. And when you got something that you get for free, $70 can go to a bottle of some Terramana or whatever your favorite tequila is, or it can go to some food. It can go to some flowers for your girl. You can find something to do with 70, baby.
Look, Clay. What you just said, some flowers for your girl? Look.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I just got my monthly dose.
Listen. You could find something to do with 70. 70, you could find something to do with 70. It ain't gotta be a Lamont Roach Tank Davis fight. That's what I'm saying.
That's a fact.
Especially when you can stream it.
So I stream it, and then you look and you be like, it's the old self-preservation. I'm sitting in my living room streaming it. How you gonna know if I streamed it or not?
You don't.
Why? Who I gotta prove to that I paid for it? I ain't gotta prove nothing.
We're gonna be up the next day on this show talking about how crazy that fight was. The same way as everybody who paid the same.
And ain't nobody gonna know the difference. But you just $70 richer.
Period, bro. Come on, man. You got to start giving these fights. You got to start giving these fans the fights they want, man. It's just right, man. You're asking for all this money. Give them the damn fights, bro. Or make it free at least. At the minimum, be like, you know what? This fight is a fight that's going on a free event, bro. Get your money through your streaming. Get it through the seats you sell in the building. Stop being so damn greedy, bro.
Right. Alan Day, brother, back in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. He said you can't argue revenue or comp ticket sales of a fight not happening, then turn around and fight Roach, Rolly, Pitbull, and Frank. It's bogus. Right. So you can't say that's my thing, right, Alan Day? And Clay, how you frowning your face up to Shakur and Keyshawn, but then you acceptance of him fighting Lamont Roach? What are we talking about?
100%.
It makes no sense. And I don't understand. Then I get people in my inbox talking about, man, this is for you hating on Tank and hating on Tank. What are you talking? Bro, it blows my mind the amount of man fans that exist in this world. Jermaine 419. It just blows my mind, right? How many boxing fans are fake fans and just man fans of fighters?
Bro, and none of that stuff they talking has ever mattered or amounted to a great fight, not one time yet. None of that discrediting fights, supporting bullshit fights, doing all the things that they do has ever added up to a mega fight yet. You know what I mean? So you're cutting the nose off you're cutting your nose to spite your own face. And it's disgraceful in many ways, but it's also a tragedy. And it's also a lot of like, my heart bleeds for you a little bit, because as a boxing fan, I see you consciously not aware. I see you unaware of the bad thing you're doing by pushing the nonsense narrative. Instead of pushing for the biggest fights and choosing to sit here and make your position in boxing to be somebody who supports somebody who doesn't support you. Let me tell you guys something right now. If Tank does not fight and give you guys one of these big fights, especially to the fans, bro, when we talking about somebody who's never showed up on none of your social media, who's never showed up on none of your channels, who won't speak to you guys if you guys will walk past him in the streets, right? If he doesn't give you one of these fights, bro, you guys are like that female who's getting slapped around by that dude, bro, and nobody can't understand what the hell you with that dude for. You know what I'm saying? Like, just watching you all the time. And not only is you getting slapped around with that dude and you stay with him, but if I mess around and try to stop him, you and that dude gonna jump me. You gonna help him jump me, even though I'm trying to pull you out of the drama you in. We walk past y'all and look the other way because we know the truth of what's going on, the toxic relationship that you guys really have. And if Tank manages to move on and retire from this sport and not give you something, give you a Keyshawn, give you a Shakur, give you a Tifimo, he doesn't do that, go and get some therapy, bro. Because you are a victim of domestic violence.
Yeah, it's just nasty work, man. It's nasty work, bro. Like you should be demanding to see the best fighting the best. Period.
100%.
You should be demanding to see the best fighting the best. Point blank and period.
Let this be a lesson, man.
There's no rhyme or reason that you had, right? Mm-hmm. That says Uncle Mayor, he said they sold over 15,000 tickets. Those are see, this is another thing. These false narratives. Mm-hmm. They buy all the tickets and then resell the tickets.
Right.
They buy all the tickets and then they resell the tickets. And then they told you it's sold out.
Right.
And I know this for a fact. Because I just know this for a fact.
I know already. You ain't got it.
Yeah. I was getting ready to talk too much.
Don't do that. I already knew as soon as you said it.
I was getting ready to talk too much.
Right.
But they buy all the tickets, then they sell, then they resell the tickets. And how you think people on the streets be having tickets? And hey, bro, yo, I got this ticket. Where you think they got it from? You think they went to Ticketmaster? You think they went and bought all those tickets and then come on the street and then sell it to you?
Right.
If me and Clay Let's say my wife and Clay wife and myself and Clay bought 4 tickets. You think me and Clay, we going to the fight?
Period.
You think we're gonna stand on the street, Clay, and be like, yo, we got these tickets for sale, unless somebody gave it to us.
And even that's probably going to go to a family member or a friend. We ain't standing on no corner, bro. We're going to make a couple phone calls like, yo, bro, I got some tickets, bro. You want to grab this off me?
And I'm not saying he's not going to sell out.
Right.
But this notion that people are telling you, oh, it's sold out already.
Like the interest is there. Like it's in demand. Like everybody's like, oh, you know what I mean?
I live in New York. Clay is from New York. Ain't nobody running around telling me I got them tickets for March. Bro, ain't nobody doing that.
Yeah.
If you go to the Barclays Center right now and stand by the Barclays Center, ain't nobody out here talking about, hey, I got them Tank Davis tickets for sale. They ain't talking about that.
Akamar said, so the arena should be empty. No, people are going to buy the tickets. Okay. We're just talking about when you get the early data that's making it look like it's sold out, that everybody's buying it. It's not necessarily this early. You know what I mean? But eventually, of course, all the you know what I mean? Like, people going to go see Tank fight, man. He's an exciting,
but
of course.
And I have no doubt
entertaining fighter.
I have no doubt it'll be sold out. But they're selling it to you as if people went and they couldn't wait and they bought all the tickets. And Uncle Mayor, you said you're from Brooklyn. You from Brooklyn, and you mean to tell me you seen people buying tickets in Brooklyn? You seen people, there's this massive buzz in Brooklyn and in New York that people bought their tickets already? You live in Brooklyn.
100%.
Come on, man. Make it make sense, man. Y'all got to stop regurgitating nonsense just because you heard it.
Echo chambers.
Right. Just because you wanted to sound, it sounds good. Like, come on, man. Do that look like, do it comes across, like, be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Be realistic, man. Come on, man. Let's use our own brain, bro. Salute to KP from KC5, my brother, back in the super chat. He said the PBC is like Democrats. They don't listen.
Don't get me started on them niggas.
The Dirt Gang boss, he said, that's cap. I work downtown. You see, and the Dirt Gang, you see a bunch of people buying them tickets? No. Oh, I know. They not in New York. They must be buying them outside of New York. It's just come on, man. Alan Day, my brother in the super chat, once again, dropping that Cinco on the super chat. He said, this is how the PBC operates. Bud convinced Spence to sidestep them to make the bout. They didn't want Spence to fight Bud. Ask money. Oh, for sure. Look, Dirt Game Boss said, hell no. Right. Come on, man. Come on, bro. But you got people in there jump. Yeah, those tickets, and those tickets, man, they jumping off the shelf.
Yeah, man. I mean,
in December, Christmas time,
nobody even thinking about that right now, bro. They can buy them tickets. They can wait all the way until, like, you know what I'm saying, at least early February. They ain't got to be thinking about, you know what I'm saying, think about that right now like that. I mean, look, it is what it is. But look, like I said, man, the usher is in the building, bro. The usher is sitting there. The lights are coming on, and certain people and certain entities in this space are getting, walk to the exit. Like, here you go, this way, please, sir. Thank you for being at the show. We appreciate your patronizing the building. But the show is over. The show is over. We got a new and improved theater, brand new, extra wide leather seats with the big cup holders in it, with the waiters and the waitresses coming to bring your food. And we got a whole new show that's about to pop off. Welcome back to the era that you guys have been missing out on for the past 15 plus years, bro. 10 to 15 years. You guys have been missing this era. Welcome back to the legacy era. Welcome back to the best fighting the best. Welcome. And you guys, hopefully, as the years go by and as these events continue to go by and these Riyadh season cards go by and all these Bob Arum and whatever's left of the PBC and Matchroom and Golden Boy, and they start getting involved in these conversations in a more pro boxing, getting to be the biggest sport in the world way, hopefully you guys will look back one day and be like, yo, Blue and Clay was really just trying to save boxing the whole damn time. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and again, right, Clay? Yeah, exactly. Dirt Game Boss. He said they buying the tickets for the Martin comedy. Right. And that's what I'm saying. I have no doubt that it'll sell out, right? But they just sold you a pipe dream. Hey man, all the tickets are sold out today. Look at the look, what's that little map thing?
With all the seats.
Yeah. Hey, look at this, man. It's sold out right now. Man, stop, man.
And then they put the pressure on you to go get your seat. Right? I better get something. The way they going, I better get up and go get me a ticket. Damn, I didn't know it was gonna sell out like that. Let me go get me a ticket.
Right. Like, come on, man. And the fact that we regurgitate the nonsense is just nasty work to me. It's nasty work, man. Yeah, yeah, nah, yeah. Yeah, nah, it's sold out. It's so, bro, just stop, man. Truest Khalifa, Boss Latino TV. What's up? It will. I have no doubt it will. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It definitely will. But to say it did, Aaron Garland said y'all hating on everything. Yeah. Best part is we on here, so we can send you a link and tell us what we hating on.
Don't even send them a link, please don't. I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
stay over there and just do what you do. Thank you for coming to the channel. Please remember to hit the like button while you're in here, bro, and participate in the algorithm. You know what I mean? Appreciate your patronage. You stay right there and do with the thing you're doing. You got the time. That's up. What's up?
He said, all facts, Blue. Chris Legg. He said, I just got an email for Benavidez fight for 20% off, and you look at the map and almost nothing is left. Why offer a discount if they're selling that easily? That'll sell out too. Right.
And they sold, David Benavidez and David Morrell sold the living daylights out that fight yesterday, man.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but like you said, Clay, if it's selling like that, why you offer me a discount?
Right.
Make it make sense, man. People got to start just come on, man. But Clay, I wanted to say this, right? I'm so happy that Lomachenko, I'm happy because this is how I look at it, right? He got to give us at least one of those fights. Tank, Shakur, or Keyshawn. He may not give us all of them, but he got to give us one.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and one, I'm good with one.
Right. Let's make it happen. Just give us one. I'm here for it.
Right.
I'm here for it.
If you only give us the Keyshawn fight, Keyshawn beat that. The storyline right there is epic.
Right.
If Keyshawn beats Dennis Baranchyk and he from the UK and you got the revenge story going on, you know what I'm saying? I'm all for that. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the revenge tour. Hey, make that happen. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I'm with that. You know what I mean? Give me a Keyshawn fight. I think Keyshawn beats him. You know, and now Keyshawn's the unified champion. It applies more pressure on Tank. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to take it, you know what I mean? And we get unification back. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? I'm good with that. Like, hey, you give me that, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying,
bro? Oh yeah, bro. I mean, it's there to be made. Make one of them, man, and great fights to be in, bro.
Because I don't see him pimp it. Put this in the microwave for one minute. I don't see him continue to fight and because who's at 135 he gonna fight just to defend his title? It makes no sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. Like he's not gonna. I don't see him just staying at the division and not fighting somebody.
Let's be honest. More than likely, if he's here, in my opinion, the fight that's going to get made is Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko. It'll be the fight that Turki Al-Sheikh would be interested in putting together. It holds legacy. It holds certain place in the history books. He just bought Ring Magazine. This fight checks all those boxes. Bob Arum is friendly with Turki, allowing those fights to come together. This will be one of his last fights that he does, more than likely. He would do that. He already turned down the Tank Davis fight, and unless the PBC is able to turn around unless they're able to make the proper adjustments to address whatever it was that turned Vasily Lomachenko off from making the fight, there's no reason to believe that the fight's going to get made next year, especially with the competitive nature of there's another platform there who's willing to pay you top dollar to make the fight, why would you just entertain doing this other fight, which is also, by the way, way more dangerous? Let's be honest. I would assume that Vasily Lomachenko is more confident fighting against Shakur Stevenson than fighting against St. Davis. So, yeah, if he is going to stay back and kick it, they already ran their little story. They already had their little head up in Riyadh season in Los Angeles. They already did they little, confrontation. It buzzed. It did its little thing across the social media space. So they can capitalize off that, continue to drive with that momentum, and make a fight for a unification title fight. And Vasily Lomachenko can go out into the sunset if he loses that fight with a big bag of money and a great legacy fight under his belt.
Yep. Robert Chandler, my brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. He said, if you're on Loma's team, rank his toughest to easiest matchup in order. Shakur, Keyshawn, Tank. I would say number one is Tank. Number one is Tank. And I'll give you a reasoning. Number one, Nick J, no, he's not retiring. Number one is Tank, right? Reason being, Lomachenko is older. His reflexes ain't the same. And Tank got one punch brutalizing power to go along with his boxing ability and his athletic ability, right? And the first thing to go before you know it and before we know it is your reflexes.
Yep.
Not seeing the punch come, right?
100%.
Me and Clay favorite fighter, Roy Jones Jr.
100%.
Your reflexes go before your for anything else goes. You know what I'm saying? You get clipped with a punch from a power puncher like that, and you can see the punch. Remember Muhammad Ali? I could see Joe Frazier hook coming. I couldn't get out the way of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
My legs wouldn't cooperate. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't get out the way of it. But guess what? Guess when he learned that lesson, Clay? In the fight.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And to do that with a power puncher, that's the worst thing that can happen. Number two, I would say Shakur Stevenson. And the reason I say Shakur Stevenson is because of his defensive mindset, right? Trying to catch up when you're older, right? Again, and that reflex thing and your legs ain't there, and you're trying to catch up. Your timing ain't there. Your reflexes ain't there. Your legs ain't there. Like you can see it, but you just can't pull the trigger. And you dealing with somebody defensive minded and skilled and talented and elusive as Shakur Stevenson, that's a counterpuncher. That's a terrible thing to deal with. Right. And three, it's a bit of a contradiction. It's Shakur Stevenson. It's Keyshawn. The reason I'm doing this at three, because I think Keyshawn has, we all believe he has more power than Shakur. Right. But he got the boxing of it. He's not as powerful as Tank, but he got more power than Shakur. He's as skilled and defensive minded and elusive as Shakur, right? And uses it, right? Not that Tank is not, but he uses it. Right. The thing is, he lacks the experience. And when you're older, an old wily vet, you can do little tricks of the trades that, you know what I'm saying, he ain't used to, and might have one last gas, one last big fight in you, right? And he ain't experienced to be able to adjust to it, right? That could be it. You know what I mean? With Keyshawn. So it's just a lack of experience, in my opinion, is why I got Keyshawn at three. But I think that they're all bad for him right now. But what's your thoughts, Clay?
Yeah, in the order, and we're talking about, let me just read it. People can make jokes of it only. No. Okay, that was another one. You went back. I can go back and find it right now. Hold on. If you're on Loma's team, rank his toughest, easiest matchup. Okay. Toughest matchup, in my opinion, I'm going to say it's Tank. Tank is the toughest matchup. Why? He brings that boxing pedigree. He has the power. His ability to make you pay in a final way can't be understated. It is what it is, right? Like, that would be the toughest one. And Tank, hasn't shown any, he hasn't slowed down really. And Vasily arguably has slowed down, right? He's the older one. He'd have to be more threatened by what Tank presents. Then, of course, I agree with you that Shakur Stevenson would be the next one, just based off of the mind games and the ability for Shakur to capitalize on the physical attributes that he has and probably bring a very similar, some might say higher even, IQ or pedigree than Vasily Lomachenko. He's simply a representation of the future of what Lomachenko has been doing. Shakur Stevenson is the next level. He's the 2.0. He's the Terminator 2, right? The liquid Terminator. And Vasily Lomachenko is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he's effective, he's efficient, but that liquid-ish is nothing to play with, right? that right there is just durable in a whole different way. So that's what Shakur Stevenson represents. And then Keyshawn Davis last, of course, because he does bring the combination of the both. He brings the height, he brings the arm reach, he brings the boxing, but he also brings the threat of getting clipped, the powerful threat of getting punched and stopped is there with Keyshawn Davis. He also, in my opinion, just to add to Keyshawn Davis, he also brings that mystique element of Terrence Crawford a little bit into the conversation. So in my opinion, he's really a combination of Shakur, Tank, and the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He has a great camp. He has a great team around him. He's always learning. His sparring is top notch because he's fighting against people like his brother, Shakur Stevenson. He's got the best sparring partners. He's probably ultimately the real future of 135 and probably going to be the one who takes the reign at those lower weight classes once Tank moves on and Shakur Stevenson moves out of the weight. So I'd put him third, though, just off the strength of, he's Keyshawn. He's Shakur's little brother. He's like 14 fights into his career. He probably would be the less threat. But I think you could argue him being the second threat in many ways, being that Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis in their own right are interchangeable as far as the threats that they present to Vasily Lomachenko, because in many ways, Shakur Stevenson offers a lot more adversity than Tank Davis. Tank Davis just represents that turn your TV off factor that you can't deny is a problem. But Shakur could be a very, very hard Rubik's Cube to figure out. And that within itself presents its own issues, As
a matter of fact, Keyshawn could be number one because he got power, he got elusiveness. It's just the experience.
Right. Exactly. He's got the mystery. He's got that box that you don't know what's inside the box because he hasn't been tried yet. He hasn't been properly tested yet.
And he's actually bigger than both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And stronger than Shakur.
Yeah. He's bigger than both of them. He's stronger than both of them. But he don't lack anything.
Yeah.
He don't lack speed. He don't lack power. He don't lack ring IQ. He don't lack boxing ability. He don't lack anything.
No.
I wanted to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we're talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Let's get the likes up, by the way, man. 350 people in the building. Take a chance, man. Take an opportunity. Don't be a hater your whole life. I know you're not doing it on purpose, but be responsible. Don't worry about apologizing. Redeem yourself and hit that like button. Salute.
Yeah, it's just lazy, man. I got so tired of saying it, man. It's just like. But I want to ask you this, right, Clay?
Mm-hmm.
And before you answer, I'm gonna get the super chats off. But I want to ask you this question before I forget. To me, Keyshawn is growing. Andy Cruz is stuck. I don't see growth from Andy Cruz.
Not yet, for sure, yeah.
No, I see growth from Keyshawn. I don't see growth from Andy Cruz.
Right. So
I'm wondering, did he plateau in the amateurs?
That's very possible. Very possible.
Yeah. I want to hear your thoughts on that. But salute to my brother Coogie G, back in the building, back in the super chat, dropping another half a dub. He said people can make jokes, but only people that are trying to make legacy fights and not duck no one is Devin, Ryan, Bud, and Benavidez. Everyone else is just pad their stats in their pockets. Yeah.
Right. It's the truth.
It's the truth. Big Herm, my brother in the super chat. Much love, family. He said PBC don't think any big fight that's 50-50 is ready. That's a fact.
That's a major fact.
That's a major fact. It's always got to build. Like, bro.
Right.
Salute the big dog 913, my brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on us in the super chat. Ayo, ring the doorbell before y'all walk in the house. Get the likes all the way up for my boy Blue and Claymore. Salute to you, great brother.
Salute, big dog.
Yeah, man. But what's your thoughts on that, Clay? All right,
man, that's a great. I love talking about stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously the number one argument for anybody who's trying to hate on Keyshawn's right to be in the conversation of fighting a Tank Davis or being where he's at is, what about Andy Cruz, right? They want to bring up Andy Cruz and these fights that they had in the Olympics, and they want to make this a factor as to why they can't give Keyshawn Davis his flowers, right? Because he needs to redeem these losses for some reason in a not professional space, even though he's dominating and so successful in the professional space, giving you guys everything you guys want, the exciting fights, the entertainment, the willingness to fight. He doesn't run. He's a champ. He's about to get a championship, and you want him to go backwards and fight somebody with a 4 or 5-0 record, who in his last fight looked human as hell, to say the least. To say the least, right? So what's the issue, right? Has Andy Cruz gotten better as a professional? Are you sitting here legitimately watching him fight the fights that he's fought and sitting there saying, that guy is so amazing, I know that guy beats Keyshawn Davis? Well, look, everybody has their own personal opinion, and everybody gets it right to think how they want to think, right? But has Andy Cruz capped out? It's very possible. He spent a lot of his prime years being an amateur in Cuba, right? That's where he spent his prime years. Now he's in a professional space with a new trainer in Bozy Ennis, who's trying to get him to have some power, to have him sit on his punches a little bit more, and to have more of a professional version of himself that attracts attention, that sells the show, that gives the American fighters what the American fighters today especially want to see all the time, to satisfy that instant gratification thing that we got going on right now. And it looks like Andy might be an old dog who's trying to learn new tricks, because who he is at this point, by the time he's gotten to Bozy Ennis, is already been established. Everything else, in my opinion, can be argued to be a distraction to the finished product that he's already is as a fighter that came out the Olympics. So we might be seeing Andy Cruz digress to a certain degree, being that he has a new way of approaching boxing right now that he wasn't doing in the amateurs, and have no reason to believe, or we can argue and have reason to believe, that that version is not a well trained and tenured version, because it's new to him. He probably get knocked out by Keyshawn Davis right now trying to do what he did in front of Antonio Moran, who popped him and had him dancing across the ring on his stanky leg. Thank God he stopped that fight, right? So, yeah, I think it is very possible that not only has he capped out, Blue, I'm going to add to it and say there's a possibility that he's digressing as far as being the fighter that he was, because he's a brand new fighter. He's already been clipped by somebody who got knocked out by Devin Haney. And I'm not saying that to insult Devin Haney, anybody else like that, but come on, bro, right? A young Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying, that hasn't knocked out people probably since Antonio Moran. I have to look back and honestly think about that, right? And he's done nothing so impressive that we need to be talking about him being in front of Keyshawn Davis. The only thing he carries with him right now, the biggest thing that Andy Cruz carries with him right now, is the legacy. He's riding the coattails of a Keyshawn Davis who's shaking up 135 pounds, and he has that over Keyshawn Davis to say that he actually beat him in the amateurs or in the Olympics, sorry, whatever you want to call it, right? Not that it's the same. Let me not make it sound like it's the same, but just to say it wasn't in the professional space, that's his biggest accomplishment to this day. Biggest accomplishment. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with it.
And shout out to Knockout 86 Boxing TV.
Mm-hmm.
He said something that I agree with.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
And this is what I'm waiting for to apply that pressure, right? Knockout. I'm waiting for Keyshawn to win that belt from Dennis Baranchik. Once he wins that belt from Dennis Baranchik, and like you said yesterday, Clay, if Shakur is going to stay in division, you're going to have to shake with him, bro.
Yeah. Or leave the division. I said it yesterday. Be a man about it. If that's your stance, that you are not going to fight Keyshawn no matter what, then stand on business. Once you're done with William Zepeda, and obviously we're calling the Schofield fight and assuming that you're going to win that fight. Once you get through with William Zepeda, if that's a fight, if you and Tank aren't going to line up to fight, bounce and go to 140 and let Eddie Hearn put you up against Liam, put you up against Tio, Devin. There's so much legacy for you there. But if you sit in that division holding a belt, playing that game that you're never going to fight Keyshawn Davis, who happens to be holding another belt, possibly 2 belts, if Bob Arum lines it up correctly and does what he wants to do, then I'm gonna talk bad about you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk bad about you, bro, because nobody can be holding up boxing. Nobody is bigger than the sport, brother.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Like once you do that, in recent memory, even though they said my boy took a dive and whatever, in recent memory, the 2 closest dudes are with Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott, and they fought. They literally like brothers, literally.
Right.
And they still fought. Now everybody said Malik took a dive, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this has come from guys like Lomachenko just recently said he don't want to never fight Dennis Moranchik.
Right.
You had Canelo said, I'm not going to fight no more Mexican fighters. Now, eventually he did away with that, right? But that was his initial stance. I'm not fighting no more Mexican fighters, right? Now, eventually he got away from that. And he's like, we was like, bro, what are you talking about?
Right.
And the same thing is going to go for Keyshawn and Shakur. And I'm not trying to be a fire starter or nothing like that.
Right.
But when I listen to Keyshawn, it's starting to sound like he don't really care. He don't want to. He ain't gonna push for it, but he don't really care.
Yeah, Keyshawn comes from something different, bro. And he got brothers. He got a lot of family on his back. He takes his career very seriously, bro. I think if you push him, put his back against the wall, and you say this is legacy or whatever have you, I truly believe, Blue Blood, that they've had to have spoken about this and have an understanding of how they're going to approach this. They had to have sat down multiple times and spoke about this, and there's a game plan that they're comfortable with, which involves them not colliding with each other. No matter what we're saying in the boxing space, how we're like, yo, eventually you're going to have to do it. I genuinely am, the more and more this moves forward, I'm believing Shakur Stevenson has plans to move to 140, bro. I believe it because he's with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn doesn't really have that much opportunity for him at 135 like that, bro. It's either make these big fights, right? I mean, Eddie Hearn had to get him a fight, and he got him Joe Cordina, right? He really has no access to a lot of 135 pounders like that, and he gets a lot of resistance from the stateside promoters as far as dealing with their fighters. So if he's not going to be able to cross promote and put that together with Tank Davis or Vasily Lomachenko, I could see him. Eddie Hearn only has 140 fighters to offer him, bro.
Let me tell you this though, Clay.
Mm-hmm.
If Shakur Stevenson foregoes and moves up to 140 and gives this division to Keyshawn, he's going to make a major mistake. Keyshawn is going to surpass him.
Oh, yeah. This is a dangerous game.
Yeah. If he go to 140, he going to have to get the TOs and the Devons because Keyshawn gets Tank, Dennis Moranchik, Raymond Mortala. If he gets the Tank fight, excuse me. If he gets the Tank fight and beats Tank, and he beats Dennis Moranchik, imagine if he gets the Lomachenko fight. It's possible, Clay.
Oh yeah,
it's possible that he gets Dennis Moranchik and beats Dennis Moranchik, and fights Lomachenko next and beats Lomachenko, and now Keyshawn got 3 belts.
Oh yeah, Would it be 3? Wouldn't it be 3?
Yeah, he will have the WBO.
Oh, you're saying he beats Tank? You're counting that?
Oh no, that's 2. You're right.
It's 2 belts. Yeah,
2 belts. He will have the WBO and the IBF.
Right, and that IBO, which nobody wants to respect, he'd have it though.
Shakur vacates the belt.
What? What happened? Are you reading something, or did I miss something? What's going on?
No, my wife is showing me something.
Oh, okay. I heard you say Shakur vacates the belts.
On heartbeat. My daughter-in-law is prego now, and she just went for my son's first baby, and he's going. She's just getting the sonogram right now, so my wife is ecstatic.
Right.
So she's just. They recorded the heartbeat, and that's what she was playing to me. Because she's showing me a black screen. I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? But
right.
I can hear it. So what was I saying, Clay? Oh, yeah, you're right. No, it's 2 belts. So if he fights for, let's say Tank holds off, because Tank already said he ain't going to 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say Tank, if he gets the Tank fight after Lomachenko, that would be huge for Tank.
Right.
That would be huge for Tank, and that would be huge for Keyshawn. And
Right.
if he beats Tank, if this lineup looks like this, and it very well could happen,
Right.
Gustavo Limos, Dennis Baranchik, Lomachenko, and Tank Davis, and he wins all those fights,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to surpass Shakur Stevenson.
I think it's very possible for that to happen. I think that's in many ways almost inevitable if Shakur isn't able to, like, his 135 is almost out of his grasp. It's almost leaving him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tank is his hope to be the guy at 135. If Tank doesn't fight him, his legacy is probably going to be more solidified in 140. You know what I mean? I like that. I'm looking at it. We'll see what happens. But between Shakur and Keyshawn inevitably colliding, and they're saying that they don't want to fight each other, between that and this fight potentially not being made with Tank Davis, I can't see him staying at 135. He's slowing himself down. 140 is going to be where it's at. 140, Devin is there, Tiafimo is there. You know what I'm saying? He got legacy money fights that are there. Turkey's probably going to be very interested in getting involved in those conversations. He's over there with Eddie Hearn. The resources are there for him. If he's not able to bring it full circle at 135 by the time him and William Zepeda square up, and we're assuming that he wins straight through here, that he beats Floyd Schofield, that he beats William Zepeda, by the time that comes full circle, he's either going to have a Tank Davis fight scheduled, and we're going to be sitting here trying to promote one of the biggest fights that 135 has ever had in the past however many years, or we'll see Keyshawn Davis doing what he does if he gets a Tank fight, and Shakur needs to take that as a straight up invitation to 140 to move on with his career. It is what it is.
Nick J, the Queen, she said, y'all keep acting like Dennis just about to give no resistance. Be careful.
Oh yeah, we definitely taking Dennis seriously, 100%. We understand. We're speaking if everybody does what they're supposed to do. We understand that all these plans can be derailed by a loss to a fighter that, you know what I mean? That's why, nobody's sleeping on Dennis. That's why I said Shakur, assuming he gets through Schofield and William Zepeda, what he's got to do. And, obviously Keyshawn Davis having to beat Dennis Baranchik, and also having to, take advantage of either fighting Vasily Lomachenko if that's what's on the table, or, a vacated title between Raymond Moritala and I can't remember that guy's name, or Adulev.
Dominic Woodland said he ain't beating Tank, shaking my head. How you know?
Okay. That's what's up.
That's just your opinion, brother.
So what, they don't need to fight, or are you just saying when they fight, that's what you think is going to happen?
Right. How you know? You guys seen them get in the ring. What you mean?
Larry Tucker said, stop it, Mr. Ring. I got you, man. I understand, man. I understand, brother. I get it, man. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I get it, man. But let's make the fights anyway. How about that? Let's let them fight anyway.
But Larry Tucker, who hasn't done what? If that's the case, nobody did nothing.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Smoking Joe. You're right, man. Derailed in 2 seconds, right? Derailed him in 2 seconds.
Did you not watch Jaime Munguia get knocked out by a guy with 4 knockouts?
Mm-hmm.
He had 27 fights with 4 knockouts. Jaime Munguia took Canelo punches. He was known to be durable and take punches, and got knocked out by a guy. Canelo got 39 knockouts. This dude got 4 knockouts. Canelo dropped him and couldn't knock him out.
Now he got 5.
Now he got 5 knockouts.
Now he got 5 knockouts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And by the way, I also want to go on record and say this, Blue. We do need to celebrate Bruno Sarace for getting his win. He's one of those at 168. He's a legitimate opponent for a lot of guys up there, and it's one thing to say that Jaime Munguia has been derailed and that he messed up, but it's also another thing to remember to celebrate this man for the victory that he did against all odds. And we'll see what boxing has planned for him at 168 pounds, but that man deserves to be celebrated. Very similar to Karen also being celebrated for having a very competitive fight with Boots Ennis. Although we criticize Boots Ennis for having a competitive fight, I guess that's what people want to do. we should also celebrate Karen, and we got to celebrate Bruno.
Because we don't expect that from Boots because it's talent. The expectations is so high from Boots that we don't give him no passes like that.
Right.
But when you're dealing with Jaime Munguia, whose the style of fighting he is, and because of his resume, he hadn't really fought anybody. Right. We look at Jaime Munguia and you like, it's possible to see him get upset. Right. It's shocking, but it's like, it's still possible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dante Boston told brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco. Super chat. I don't know if Tank want any of these fights. Me either.
I don't know if he wants any of these fights bad enough. That's how I would reword it. Like, I think he wants them, but does he want it bad enough to do what he ultimately needs to do, which is step up, dictate, and let the PBC know what needs to happen and stop letting people advise him out of pushing for these fights.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to for me. Like, are you going to step up like Errol did? Because it looks like in order for you to get these fights, Tank, you're going to have to be proactive. You're going to have to leave your little mansion that you're staying in, that you don't want to be on social media, you want to talk, and you're going to have to get on the phone with the powers that be, and you're going to have to let them know how this year, 2025, is going to be, or you ain't having it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like Errol did. I'm sit on my ranch until you get me this fight. Get me on the phone with Terrence, whatever we got to do, just like David Morrell did. I'm not fighting Jesse Hart. I'm reaching out to David Morrell. That's the fight I want to put together. We need Tank to do the same thing. Take your career in your hand and dictate the pace. And I think he starts on March 1st. I'm looking forward to March 1st's fight off the strength of that announcement at the end of the fight. I want to see him call out somebody. I want to see him watch the rubber meet the road, and I want to see him call out the fights that he wants. I want to hear him call out the fights that he wants.
And you know what's so wild? I got word that somebody from Tank Team said one of the people he might call out after the fight is Ryan Garcia, and I'm like, bro, that's just nasty work, bro.
This is going to be the first time Tank Davis. I was talking about this earlier to say that Tank Davis has never really, in my opinion, officially called out anybody, right? Like, the closest thing we have to him calling out somebody was his list, right? Which he's denying right now and saying that doesn't even count as what he's called out, that maybe he was saying what he would be willing to do, but not saying that he was necessarily wanting to do it or whatever have you. Fine. But this call out on March 1st is going to be his first official declaration to the boxing space on what he wants. It ain't no taking it back, ain't no playing no games. He's going to tell us, and we're going to be able to hold him accountable directly for the words that are going to come out his mouth in front of however many million people are watching it, and however many people are inside that stadium will know what Tank Davis actually wants as far as his next opponent is concerned.
What if he don't call out nobody, Clay?
And we're gonna hold. Listen, brother, like, they ain't no hurting me. They ain't no hurting me. This is either exposing you or showing everybody that you the guy that all your fans believe that you are. It's on you, brother. You don't want to call nobody out. You decide that you want to retire that night. You decide that you're done with boxing. We're gonna celebrate you for what you did, but we damn sure ain't gonna celebrate you for what you ain't do. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do that. So it is what you do. No skin off my neck. Boxing is getting too exciting. It's moving into an era as to where Tank Davis's moves cannot mess with my peace and my happiness. I just want to know what it is just to get it out the way. So whatever you decide to do, fight somebody that we want to see, fight somebody we don't want to see, retire, it's coming to an end, man. Time waits for no man. We're getting older every day, not younger. So let's just get it done with. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let us know. Let us know what you're doing, brother, so we can all be on the same page and have some understanding. Let's get it done.
Salute to my brother Mello in the building, in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on this in super chat. He said KO Boston gonna say Turkey forced Tank when he on that Riyadh season card in 2026. Laughing out loud, RP PBC.
Damn. Man. That was a direct shot. That was a $5 shot at KO.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're making it when people are paying to throw a shot at you, KO. So you should be flattered.
Salute to my brother Chris Legg, been a channel member, family member for 7 months. Drop the bombs on him, Craig. He said, "Who y'all got in the Pacheco Steve Nelson fight elimination?" Yo, let me hit up Steve and see if he's available right now.
No doubt, no doubt.
Give your thoughts on that,
hope.
Clay, while I hit up Steve.
All right. Hey, man, who do I think is going to win? Look, Steve Nelson looked real good in his last fight. I'm trying to remember who it was, but I know he fought on the on that Riyadh season in Los Angeles card, and he looked real good in that fight. He's got a great team behind him, and I know the support is there for him on this channel. Diego Pacheco gets an opportunity to get a super test. In his last fight against Sulecki, we saw him put that set up to hit him with that body shot, with that left to the ribs or right there, you know what I'm saying, to the liver shot, you know what I mean, that he gave him and stopped him. He looks stellar in that fight. And obviously we know that Diego Pacheco is in a Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes conversation. So this is going to be a big fight for him in the ultimate test. Who's going to ultimately win though, right? I think it's a 50-50 fight. I dead up feel like it's a 50-50 fight because I just think Steve Nelson is cut from that cloth. The question is he past his prime years? You know, he's kind of like having a late, some might say, comeback. You know what I mean? Is this version of him? You know, Diego Pacheco is a young bull. You know what I'm saying? Who has a lot of motivation for himself to step up and make this thing count right here. Probably most people would be favoring Diego Pacheco, but for me, it's a 50-50 fight at this point. 50-50. That's where I'm at with it. I wish I had my back scratcher. It's upstairs and my
salute my brother Coogie G back in the super chat, dropping another halfer. Dub. He said, to me, Loma style wise is still a problem for Tank because of his feet alone. Martin was out boxing Tank until Tank hit him with that night quill in the 8th round. That's why I think Tank is low-key cautious of Shakur. Oh, 1,000%. Coogie, that's exactly, remember Calvin said that. He said that out loud, remember? Calvin said, we don't like Shakur's movement. He don't like the style matchup. This is how they cover it up, Clay. He's boring. The fans don't pay to see that. Right? This is nasty work. You know what I'm saying? Mello, brother in the super chat, he said taking bets that Cobra is his name. Man, you better not.
Yo, I'm telling you straight up, that fight's getting shot down. I don't want to hear no stories about amateur fights they had back in the day and competitive sparring and all the stuff that y'all gonna try to do to sell that. If Chris Colbert comes up in conversation, bro,
it can't.
Yo, but what about Tevin Farmer?
Nah,
right? Can't. He just came off 2 losses, Raymond Mortala, and back-to-back. You know what I mean? But I like Tevin, man. I ain't gonna lie, I like Tevin. But yeah, it doesn't check the boxes. Shout out to you, Tevin, man. We really, I'm a big fan of yours, bro, but it really doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Big fan, though. Big fan.
Clay, did you hear Leonard Ellerbe say, this is just nasty work. Leonard Ellerbe said, it's a lot of great big fights, but if I'm managing the fighter, I don't want him in none of those fights.
Right.
Bro, I gotta play this for the people.
Play it, man. I saw the whole thing, and that's why I sent you the clip. And I was hoping you watched the whole episode, but it was so telling. It was such a telling interview, and people, I don't even want to argue with people about it because I know some people gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are, bro." It just shows you the handlers of this man's spirit and what they've been advising this man to do his whole career. You can see it in the interview, the reason behind why we are today where we are and why Tank is where he's at today. Now, Tank is rich, has made a lot of money, and he can be celebrated for that. But the fight's not being made, brother. Listen to this interview, and you're going to understand the whole science and the whole reason as to why y'all sitting here thinking what y'all thinking.
Tell me if you can hear this, Clay. I couldn't believe he said this.
What do you believe to be the greatest boxing fight of all time? It's so many. It's so many. I don't want to say one, but there's so many that I thought were great fights. But those kind of fights, to me, I wouldn't want someone who I work with to be in that kind of fight.
Now, I could take that one or two ways. Is he saying he don't want him in a brutal fight?
He's trying to flip it into that. He's trying to say that the brutality of the fight is something he wouldn't wish on anybody he cares about, right? Any of his boxers, he doesn't wish the brutality of the competitive fight, of the legacy fight, of the greatest fight, because the greatest fights they take years off these fighters' lives. They're grueling, you know what I'm saying? Things change in these fighters, and he's talking about their future. But he can't say that without escaping the fact of that he's not into making those fights for that reason. Like you can flip it and say there's a good reason behind it, as far as like maybe if you have a bleeding heart for fighters and you don't want to see them get hurt, I can understand, but you can't say that and at the same time not include the fact that the legacy fights aren't made unless they're made, and they can be grueling because they're competitive by nature. These fighters are the best, they're generational talent fighters, and they can be very grueling. Right? So you can't take one without the other one. Yeah, I am getting old, Big Drew. You're right.
It's just, hold on, let me hit Steve.
Listen, those back scratches, diabolical, boy. Good back scratches, man, hard to find, man. My wife is a great back scratcher, bro. She be scratching my back, bro. Listen, bro, put me right to sleep. Put me right to sleep.
Yes, man. Hold on, Clay.
Yeah. We waiting on you.
I'm trying to.
You two simply have different perspectives, Clay.
Okay. So the great brother asked us who we got in the Pacheco So Cold fight. I want to see if So Cold come on before we answer that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. Right. So my thing is this, right? Again, like I said, I could take it one or two ways, but you can't have it both ways, like you said, right, Clay? You can't. Those fights turn out to be like that because you put two great fighters in the ring, typically. Right. Now, there's times where you get two fighters that are not great fighters; they're very good fighters, right? A la Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, right? But it's entertaining,
right?
But when you put great fighters in there historically, that's the part of the legacy. Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, those are great fights. Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, right? But you can't get those fights without putting two of the great fighters in there. So you're avoiding. They're taking this whole not taking punishment thing to the next level.
Right.
And avoiding the best possible fights they can make to try to make it.
Wasn't that what Floyd was trying to bring to the table with promoting and working with Al Heyman, was to show these fighters how to get to the money and not let boxing use you by putting you in these grueling fights. You know what I'm saying? That, get paid for the most grueling fights and fight the easier fights and make good money as well. Let me show you how to get rich, which within itself is a good thing to a degree. I understand that coming from a boxer's point of view, coming from Floyd's point of view, who came from a father who was like, yo, bro, protect your faculties. You want to be there to play with your grandchildren and your family and things of that nature. And you want to be, rich and have the use of all your faculties when you're rich and protect yourself. I definitely understand that, you know what I'm saying? But from a boxing fan's point of view, the legacy fights hold a lot of weight with us. So should they be consistently back to back, just hard fighting the hardest fights all the time? No, but at some point in your career, there should be things we can point at to say that this guy did something for the fans. You know what I mean? These fights right here, they did because of legacy. They did it because of boxing. They did it because this is what boxing, this grows boxing. This is part of the tradition of boxing. So as a promoter, you would think that you factor that in, that you take that into consideration when you're matchmaking, when you're selling these fights. That, you know, there are fights, there are tune-up fights, there are fights that are more winnable than others, but at some point you should be on the street of legacy where, yo, this is the great fights that need to be made. And if you don't have the mentality like that, then you end up with what you're dealing with right now, which is a fighter who could potentially retire and not fight anybody that you asked him to fight. It can happen. Will it happen? Time will tell. But you're in a position right now to where you might be seeing that come full circle, to where this guy retires and hasn't given you not one damn fight that you asked him to give you. Except, I mean, if you want to say Ryan, fine. But, you know, obviously we all know the holes and the shots that get thrown at that fight. I'm not going to bring it up here and make, you know what I mean, hang my hat on it. But you know damn well people have their reservations about that fight being the fight that they particularly asked for. Because maybe Ryan Garcia wasn't particularly the Ryan Garcia that they were asking for to be in the ring with. Tank was another Ryan Garcia, right? I mean, it is what it is.
It's nasty work. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Salute to my brother Mello, back in the building, back in the super chat, dropping another Cinco. He said, Clay, you said it first. If I said Roach last year, y'all would have said nah. Turkey laughing at two faces of boxing. Tables turned all in a year. This is true.
Baby, you want baby? I know that.
You know that. Hey, people justifying, again, I hate to say it, Clay, because it makes it look like we don't like Lamont Roach or hating on Lamont Roach or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, last year, and again, no disrespect to Frank Martin as well. Right. But last year when we made the Frank Martin fight, and everybody said, okay, cool. You're going to fight Frank Martin. I like the Frank Martin fight because it killed the notion that he don't fight athletic black fighters and skilled
I loved it.
Right?
I loved the fight.
I loved it.
Right.
But it was viewed as, according to Calvin and according to Kenny, right? This was a stay busy, get ready, dust. You just got off the shelf, dust yourself off. You just got out the Hushang, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You dusting yourself off. You want to get your feet, get your feet back under you.
Right.
Start to focus. Okay, we're gonna do this.
Right.
And then it was full speed ahead into the biggest names possible.
Right.
Lamont Roach, no disrespect again, Clay, is a step back from Frank Martin.
I mean, people are going to say that it's not because he's a champion. That's what they're going to say. They're going to be like, no, but he's a champion. Man, it's beating a dead horse because he's not a champion at 135. He's not a champion at a division. He's not a, it's like, bro, are y'all going to say that if Monster Inoue comes up and fights at 135? Are y'all going to say Tank's fighting a champion, bro? Because he, you know what I mean? You're not going to acknowledge the fact that he's in another weight class, another weight division. It is what it is, right? Frank Martin was an official 135 pounder. You know what I mean? That's who he was, a contender in the division. So it does hold more weight.
And let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If Frank Martin didn't lose to Tank, we never saw that. Right? And Lamont Roach came up in weight, and his first fight at 135 was Frank Martin. Who you favoring to win?
Off the face value, I would probably push in the direction of Frank Martin. I could be wrong though. Lamont could step up and do something, but just off face value, I'd say that's a tall order for Lamont Roach to do it with Frank Martin. A tall order to say the least. I'd favor him. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would.
Ronnie 2K. This is I'm not giving you anything. Ronnie 2K. This is a silly way of looking at things. You says, my wife just gave me 2 middle fingers, Clay.
That's the life. Welcome to the life, baby. You probably deserved it. Let's be honest.
No, I didn't. I definitely didn't. You know.
Let's be real. What'd you do? What'd you do, Blue? Let's be honest. Let's be honest, Blue. What did you do? What in the world did you do? Come on now. Come on now. You ain't got to tell the world, bro. But we know. 2 middle fingers, bro. That ain't just so I know. You know what I mean? 2 middle fingers is diabolical. It's official, bro. Something happened, dog. Something happened, bro.
Hey, and she did the. You remember Running Scared? Yeah, remember that?
It is what it is, bro. Right? Like, let's be honest.
Hey, but Ronnie 2K. That's a pretty silly way of looking at things. To say, bro,
Right.
Tank is smaller than Lamont Roach. Again, y'all been told this foolishness for so long, you regurgitate it. Now, let me just say this to you, Ronnie 2K. Mm-hmm. Imagine Mike Tyson fighting a light heavyweight or cruiserweight, and then we like, man, why is you fighting that dude? And you be like, well, he's bigger than Mike Tyson.
Right.
Everybody's bigger than him.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a dead point. Like I hate hearing that. Lamont is actually bigger than. Come on, bro.
Right. Everybody's bigger than him.
Right.
What are you talking about? If he fought O'Shaquie Foster is going to be bigger than him, brother. Because Tank is 5'4", 5'5". How silly is that? Outside of Isaac Cruz just went up in weight and fought Rayo.
Right.
Who Isaac Cruz gonna fight? He's bigger.
He's bigger than. Right.
Right.
He just knocked Rolly Romero from pillar to post, bro. We all know it. You know what I mean? Like the size is not some people, the size, it don't matter. It's not the conversation that's on the table. Tank Davis has been smaller than almost everybody damn near he's been in the ring with, except for like an Isak Cruz or, you know what I'm saying? Generally speaking, these guys are bigger than him. That doesn't hold weight.
Right. He said, so why are you mad? You know what? I'm gonna ignore you, brother.
That you gotta do it, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me. You gotta do
K Muller, what's up, family? Gotta just go ahead and ignore silliness. So again, like I said, Clay, it's unacceptable, man. After this fight, if you call out Ryan Garcia, I got to be done with your career.
I don't think he does. Maybe he does. I don't know if he does. It'll be definitely a money move. I don't know. I can't see Ryan coming down to 140. And if he does, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely hope he doesn't.
If he calls out Ryan Garcia, bro, you ain't no different than Jake Paul. You ain't in this. You ain't in this for legacy. And
he said it already. He's in it for the money and to get out. So I already kind of like. Yeah, I think Tim Bradley kind of spoke on it a little bit. When he kind of spoke on, I think a lot of people were like thinking he was celebrating him, but I think he was just being done with him. He just kept it 100. I'm going to leave him alone. If that's what he wants to do, if he wants to retire and he's not going to fight nobody, I respect it. Bye.
It's like what you've been saying that, Clay.
Yeah.
It's like I no longer have expectations from you. When you told me who you are, I got to believe you now.
That's it. I'm good. Nothing you're doing is shocking me no more. I'm not tripping. If he says Ryan Garcia that night, I'm gonna be like, all right, guess we looking forward to see Ryan Garcia. That's a fight you're doing. I got plenty of legacy going on in boxing right now, though. It don't have to be Tank Davis. He don't got to be the legacy guy. If he wants to be who he is, I'm gonna watch him do what he does because he's an exciting fighter to watch. So when I'm watching him, I know why I'm watching him, and I got other places to go find legacy at.
Yeah, you watching it for pure entertainment at that point.
Right. I'll be disappointed because I know what kind of fights could have been made and the type of things that we could have seen if he pushed for it. But I'm okay with you doing what you want with your life, bro. What you eat, I promise you, ain't never gonna make me. You heard?
Right. Salute to Blade Brown, my brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco. On to the super chat, just dropping another Cinco on y'all. Clay, you getting wiser, not older. Canelo fight Bud. Tank will be the weakest face of boxing out of the two. And I'm glad that there's reports and rumors that from Boxeo TV, the Latino Mexican channel, and from what is it? Boxeo? Boxeo TV. And And what was the other one? MMA Weekly or something like that. What is it again? Boxeo TV and MMA Weekly that reporting that Canelo's team informed them that his next plans is to fight Terrence Crawford in May. We know that Canelo's always over there on Boxeo TV.
Right.
So hopefully this proves to be true, man. This would be huge, man. Huge.
Brother, Crawford is Crawford. I don't bet against Crawford, bro. I don't. I just don't do it, right? Like, no matter what, whatever he's doing, whatever he's trying to do, when he's committed to something, he's shown and proved that you either going to get that to me or I'm going to, like, you know what I mean? So as long as he's sitting here with optimism about making that Canelo fight, I believe that Canelo fight at a minimum can happen. I believe the negotiations are getting closer and closer every day. You can see it on him in the way he's carrying it, bro. You know, and that's why these other fights at 154 aren't happening. And people are like, why don't you go do this, go do that? Because that man has a goal in his crosshairs that's almost ready to be accomplished. And you guys just ain't going to see it. You ain't going to see it, bro. So, you know, I'm not shocked at all that Boxeo saying that. Money talks. Canelo's a businessman. Ain't too many people in the space in position to give him the payday that Turkey can give him. It's not far-fetched at all that fight's getting put together.
Yeah, I love the fight for both guys, right? If Terrence Crawford loses to Canelo, I still give Canelo credit for beating Terrence Crawford.
Me too.
Because people fail to realize Floyd didn't fight at 54 when he fought Canelo.
Yeah, what was it, like 153 and change or something like that? What was it?
He did 152 at catchweight.
Okay. Right.
But it was no rehydration clause.
Right.
But Floyd was a 47-pounder. You know what I'm saying? Who came up in weight. And although Canelo lost every round, you know what I'm saying, it's still such a great fighter. Then when you're dealing with great fighters of that magnitude and that talent, you got to give even a bigger guy credit for beating him because he's so talented, so skilled, right? It's just like Dimitri Bivol beating Canelo Alvarez. I give him credit for beating Canelo Alvarez.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Canelo Alvarez is a great fighter.
100%.
Right? Yes. And Bivol didn't beat him with size. He didn't just go in there and brute him. You know what I'm saying? He beat him with skill and talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when you look at Canelo and Terrence Crawford, Canelo's not going in there to that's not his style. He's not a bully in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He's a pressure fighter, a strategic pressure fighter when the time calls for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or he could be fight on the back foot, take his time, you know. So I don't believe he's going in there to do what Tyson Fury does. Use his size, use his weight, lay on you, you know, so on and so forth. Then he got to beat you with skill. He still got to beat Terrence Crawford with skill. Right? And I think that it's not going to be easy. So if he does beat Terrence Crawford, I'm giving him credit for beating Terrence Crawford, the pound for pound best fight in the world. Is Terrence Crawford the smaller guy coming up in weight? Oh, 1,000%. We know that, but he's a talented, skilled. He's this generation's version of Floyd, and that can't be discounted. It's like Sugar Ray Robinson, right? When Sugar Ray Robinson moved up in weight, and he might have lost the fight when he moved up in weight, right? You still beat Sugar Ray Robinson,
right?
Because his skill set, unless it's just diabolical, right? Like going at like Terrence Crawford going to heavyweight. It's just like that's just diabolical, right?
Right.
But his skill set is he's so gifted and so talented and so great that even if you're a weight class or two above him, his skill set kind of evens the playing field, right? Where he could stay away from you, he could box on the outside, he can control, like Roy Jones going to heavyweight, right? He was so talented and so skilled that it equaled the playing field. Now, is there a step too far for Roy, right, at heavyweight?
Mm-hmm.
I think that Lennox Lewis would have been a step too far.
Right.
Right. Just because he's 6'5", 6'6", you know what I'm saying, 250 pounds and a great talent.
Something like Terrence and David Benavidez, maybe.
Right.
Something like that, right.
Right. But is Roy Jones and Holyfield diabolical? No.
Right. Because I mean Holyfield was really a cruiser.
Right. He's only 6'2", you know what I'm saying? And
he was a small heavyweight too.
Small heavyweight, right. Yeah. And Mike Tyson as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not diabolical for him to fight those dudes and win. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I look at it in the same breath as this Terrence Crawford. And two, on top of it, right, Clay, is we can't forget Canelo actually fought at 147 at one point.
Right.
He fought at 147 and he fought at 154. So it's not like David Benavidez has never fought at welterweight.
Right. This is an intangible that people don't like to talk about a lot. When they say Terrence Crawford's going to the 168, I don't know why they just refrain from speaking to the fact that this dude fought at 154, and like you said, fought at 147. Terrence is taking that into consideration. He's like, this dude is big, but he's not the biggest guy. He's he's probably the smallest 168 pounder in the division. This fight is doable for me.
He's heavy. Right? He's not big.
He's definitely heavy, you know what I'm saying? But keep in mind that Terrence Crawford, I tell everybody, remember Terrence Crawford turned down the idea of the fight at first and said he believed in weight classes. Then he revisited the situation, assessed it, and came back and said, yeah, you know what? I'd fight Canelo. Right? He assessed it. He didn't just make this decision based off of money and he's throwing his neck on the chopping block. He looked at it, said no at first, just off the strength of it was a 168-pound champion, but he reassessed it, looked at the intangibles and said, you know what? I think I could get this dude. Me and this dude is really not that different. He's just heavier than me. But outside of that, I could reach him. I can keep him at a distance. I can establish a distance. I can get a strategy going. I can win this fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Salute to my brother B McGee, brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on into the super chat. If Canelo fight does happen, what weight would Bud come in at, and would his power translate? I'll answer that first. I believe he'll come in probably around 166, probably.
That's what I'm thinking, 164 to 166.
Yeah, because first of all, he can't come. You remember, you can't come in so low anyway. They won't allow you.
Okay.
You gotta. I think the benchmark is like 65.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, 64, 65.
I thought anything over 160. No.
No.
Because 160 is the middleweight.
I gotta ask. There's you can't come below a certain weight.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a good question. It's eluding me right now. But you can't come in as under a certain weight. But I think he'll come in like 165, 166, something like that. And will his power translate? 1000%, because his core strength, right? He's a world-class wrestler. He was in high school. That's his background. He you know what I mean? So he's extremely strong. He deadlifts like 500 pounds, something like that. So his core strength is extremely strong. So his power, William Cole, what's up, family? I think his power for sure translates. The concern I have to what's going to translate is not his power, it's his stamina to carry all those extra pounds. Especially if Canelo's very, very durable, right? I don't see Canelo getting knocked down, knocked out, or anything like that. I could see Canelo being a little hesitant because he's strategic, working his way in, and be more calculated,
Right.
right? But I don't think that Canelo's. I just don't see it. I mean, I don't see him, getting. I mean, unless Bud hit him with a punch you don't see, I just don't see him hurting Canelo like that. I just don't see it, right? And so I think that his power will definitely translate, and but it's his stamina and his legs carrying that weight. So if we go in the second half of the fight, can he stay moving? You know what I'm saying? Can he stay out the way? Or is he going to start being more stationary and give Canelo more opportunities? That's the problem. Hold on, Clay. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
I got you. If Canelo fight does happen, what weight, Bud? We already answered that. And would his power translate? Yeah, I think what Blue said is going to hold weight. I think his power does translate. Effective power, right? Effective punching. In other words, I think he'll get Canelo's attention. I think he'll give Canelo something to think about. I don't think Canelo just bulldogs him the whole fight. I think it looks a certain way in the first couple of rounds of the fight, but I think ultimately Terrence Crawford, and he has to, by the way, establishes some respect in the ring, some understanding, some variable that's going to cause Canelo to get into this boxing match and begin to box with Terrence Crawford rather than just rushing him and trying to just push his will onto him. He'll do that in the beginning, but I think Terrence will get the respect, and that'll represent the power. People used to say it about Floyd, in my opinion. They used to try to act like Floyd wasn't punching like that, but he would neutralize a lot of fighters who were punchers, and you'd see them become cautious about they were ran up on him. Miguel Cotto was cautious about it. Manny Pacquiao was cautious, right? Fighters, that were I think Robert Guerrero, you know what I'm saying? Fighters that were supposed to be these punchers would hesitate. They would take their time and take his power into consideration. I think Terrence is going to be able to establish that respect in that fight. I see J.R. Spock in the building. Salute King said, who has more to lose, Canelo or Bud? Clearly Canelo. Canelo definitely has more to lose. Bud has nothing to do with gain. You know what I mean? He's either somebody who tried to be great and fell short, or he obviously achieved it. Canelo Alvarez, he gets to be great for being a pound-for-pound fighter, but if he loses against Bud Crawford, I think it does hurt him a little bit. Does it hurt his legacy? Not really, but, ultimately, it's a guy coming up 2 weight classes to fight you. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Salute brother Blue and Clay and his ability to get hit by Canelo, but at 168 will have the same power as Jamel did. I think Bud punches harder than Jamel Charlo. I'll be real with you. That's what I believe. I believe he punches harder. You know what I mean? I think, or it's reasonable to argue that he does to Jamel, not Jamal necessarily, but Jamel. Yeah, I think he's going to come in with a little bit more significant power than you guys might think it is. Salute, Mr. Rain, but Bud is no Floyd. Yeah, I hear you. But Bud punches. Bud is a puncher. He knocked everybody out at 147 pounds that he fought, includes some of y'all favorite fighters, right? So he's definitely a puncher for sure. He's definitely a puncher. Floyd Mayweather didn't stop everybody he fought at 147, right? So take that for whatever it's worth. Let's see here. If Canelo loses to Bud, that'll look bad in my eyes. Bud going up big. Yeah, no doubt. Bud not going to be a puncher at 168. I don't think, Clay. Is he going to be a puncher? No, but is he going to be able to manifest enough power to get respect in that ring to discourage Canelo from just walking in and taking shots? Yes, I believe that. I believe he can convince Canelo Alvarez to box, convince Canelo Alvarez to throw, to hit and not get hit. Keep my head off the line. Let me get a little bit of lateral movement going. Let me set this guy up. Let me double hit him with a double jab real quick to set him up with a big shot. Let me not just walk in there like he don't matter. He's going to have to establish that in order to make this fight competitive. If he's not able to establish that, then Canelo's probably going to run him over, right? Jamel Charlo wasn't able to establish that. He wasn't able to convince Canelo Alvarez that he was a threat. Therefore, he got ran over, right? I think Terrence will be able to establish that, but we'll see. Bud does not punch harder than Jamel. Maybe. I mean, look, I don't know. I'm just telling you what it looks like, what I think. You know what I mean? I think Bud punches real hard, bro. You know, I just happen to believe that. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see if they put that fight together. He might not. I can't prove that he does. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to argue with you about it. But, you know, I think he probably does. Let's see here. Bud gonna beat that ass. He got too much skill. Yeah, Luther, listen, man. Look, bro, like I said before, Bud has done enough to where I can't see myself betting against him. I just won't bet against him. You know what I'm saying? After I saw what he against Errol, and what I seen him do to the division period, I'm just not going to bet against him. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If you want to convince me that Canelo Alvarez can beat Bud, Canelo Alvarez is going to have to beat Bud. And at that time, I'm going to say, boom, he did it. Other than that, I'm not betting against him, man. I believe in his mind state. I believe in his will. I believe in his ability to build strategy. I believe in Bomac. I believe in all these things to come together and be able to manifest a victory in a night against Canelo. I agree. He punches harder than Jamel. Thank you, Bandalay. I think he does. He might not, but you know, that's what I think, man. I honestly think that, man. I won't bet against Bud either. Yeah, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. So when Canelo does it, I'll be like, you guys are right. We'll be up here on the next day. I'm sure you guys won't let me live it down for weeks upon weeks. It'll be what it is. And I'll sit here and concede gracefully, like a grown man supposed to do. Like, damn, yeah, I was right, bro. Turns out Canelo, that guy, man, he did it, man. Amazing. Everybody clap it up for Canelo. I'll give him his respect. But until then, you're going to have to show me, cuz. You're going to have to show me, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Remember, Mr. Rain, Canelo is not getting hurt by Bud. Floyd technique was great, and that's what people's missing. It's not about power. Y'all keep saying Bud hits hard, Mr. Rain. It's about technique. 100%, I agree with that. I think the technique is very important, but I also believe if he's not able to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, and his technique will go out the window, because ultimately Canelo will walk through everything he's got and nullify the technique, right? Part of the technique is the respect, is the getting Canelo Alvarez to become a boxer, to make him box and make him take his time, to make him fight Terrence Crawford's fight. That's Terrence Crawford's mission in his job. And if he's not able to execute on that, then of course he's going to lose the fight. He's not going to sit there and fight a bulldog Canelo Alvarez for 12 damn rounds who has no respect for him, that he can't hurt at all. I don't think he wins that kind of fight. So it all has to come together. The technique is going to be the most important thing, but the power is going to be the foundation to it all. The respect of that punch turning over and hitting you clean, and you making a decision as to whether or not you want to, that you're able and willing to take those punches for the rest of the night, or if you've made a decision as to, I don't need to be getting hit like that all night. I need to fight him in a different way. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, right? It is what it is. Canelo will have a hard time with Errol too. This Errol, I don't know. This Errol, I don't know who he is. I can't co-sign that. At one point in time, I would have agreed with you on that, though, Luther. At one point in time, I definitely would have agreed with you on that. I would have said, yeah, bro, that guy can give him problems. But I just don't know who Errol is today. I have no idea who he is, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know who he is, man. I'm excited to find out who he is when he comes back, but I don't know who that guy is right now. So I don't know, brother. I don't know. Bud is a flat-out dog. You can tell certain fighters, and Greats just gave it in them. Yes, special fighters do special things, right? TB, special fighters do special things, and that's the difference between special fighters and everybody else. Everybody else falls under the rules and the laws of physiology, right? You're too small. You don't punch hard enough. You don't have enough experience. You never fought somebody like this guy. But you have fighters every now and then that are just special. They're just exceptions to the regular expectation of other fighters. They just know how to manifest and do things that other fighters don't do. He's a committed fighter. He's lived the boxer's lifestyle his whole career. He's a family man. He has God on his side. I know you guys don't want to hear that, right? What are we talking about? Why are we bringing up God? Because at the end of the day, he has all of the elements in line to give him the best opportunity. He's done all the right moves. He's trained. He got the right trainer. He stayed committed in the gym. He's an athlete. He has the winning mentality. He doesn't want to even lose the tic-tac-toe. He don't want to lose the checkers. He don't want to lose a Connect Four. He don't want to lose the basketball. He don't want to lose a football, wrestling. He don't want to lose ping pong. He don't want to lose boxing, right? These things all are part of the mentality of somebody special who's going to win by any means necessary. I saw him do an interview recently with Carl Frock, where Carl Frock asked him if he played chess. He said, I'll play you for $20,000. He don't know what Carl Frock got. He don't know how good Carl Frock is in chess. He got the British accent. That would have intimidated me off rip. As soon as the British accent alone would have intimidated me to play him in chess, even though I believe I'm good in chess. But he didn't, not only was he not intimidated, but he doubled down and said, I'll play you for $20,000. That's some kind of confidence that you just don't get every day. You don't find people every day who are willing to move that way, who are willing to put their money where their mouth is. Bud is shown to be somebody who's always been willing to put his money where his mouth is. So going into a fight with Canelo Alvarez, I believe him. Is that so crazy? I just do. He's convinced me to not go against him and to show and prove if you're going to beat him, you have to show me. And I'll pay to see it. Let's get it in. You know what I mean? Let's get it in. I want to see it. I'll pay to see it. Let's get it. Let's get it done. Let's see. Luther Boyd says Canelo have problems with slick fighters, bro. 100%. Yo, you trying to tell me that Terrence Crawford's not a slick fighter? We'll find out. If they put this fight together in Cinco de Mayo, we'll all be drinking tequila, eating tacos, drinking margaritas, and watching a great fight, right? That's what I would think. That's what I would believe. It is what it is. How many weight classes did Sugar Ray move up to fight Marvin Hagler? I don't know. How many did he move up? Sugar Ray move up to move Marvin? I don't remember. I'll look it up though. You know what I mean? That's the future we live in. How many did he move up? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Y'all fail the test? Let's do it like this. 2 weight classes, right, Rich? Okay, word. You know what I mean? It is what it is then. That proves the point right there about how powerful this fight can be. You guys can't not sell this fight. You can't discredit this fight. No matter how hard you try to do it, you can't do it. You can't do it. It is what it is. Shout out to Alan Land in the building. Rich Porter, 2 weight classes, Bendel, word. What's cooking? What's cracking, fam? Salute Joaquin Arizola. What's good, family? How you doing, man? Blue done left me up here to my own vices. You know what I mean? I'm gonna move the needle though. I'm gonna move the needle and talk and move it to another conversation. What up? That boy working. What up, Clay? That boy working, no doubt. You know what I want to spit? What I want to talk about? I'm gonna be real with you guys, man. I want to talk. Do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. Let's move this to David Benavidez and David Morrell and how interesting this fight has become. It's always been an interesting fight, right? Let's be honest. The fight's always been interesting. This fight really didn't need to be sold to us, but we can't act like what just happened yesterday didn't do the job. Didn't add just a little bit more interest to the fight. Didn't make the fight that much more interesting to see the personal issues that David Morrell has got going on with David Benavidez. Bringing that energy to the table by not shaking his hand, changing the whole atmosphere, the whole energy of the fight. Who did that help out, guys? Who actually got the benefit of that, the change of pace, the escalation in the fight? Is David Benavidez a more dangerous fighter now, or is he playing right into the hands of David Morrell? Did David Morrell get him where he needs a David Benavidez to be? Let's break it down and just say, for argument's sake, David Benavidez brings the pedigree, right? He brings the experience on a professional level. We're going to acknowledge David Morrell bringing that amateur background, but let's agree to agree for whatever that David Benavidez is the more experienced professional fighter in the space, and that organized boxing gives him the leverage. The experience in organized boxing, professional boxing, he has the leverage. If David Morrell is able to derail that and turn this more into a fight, who does this benefit more? Does it benefit David Benavidez to motivate him and piss him and have him coming at you trying to fight you? Or is it David Morrell who actually gets the leverage here by changing the whole entire narrative of this fight? What say you guys? Morrell just woke up. Ben, I hear Young Poppy. Clockworld says Morrell. Right. Alan says that's definitely at 50-50 fight. I can get excited about that. I'll spend my hard-earned money on that for sure, man. Benavidez's powers don't look the same. Interesting, Shannon, real interesting, right? David Benavidez's power didn't necessarily translate when he fought against Vosdick, right? But he had some pre-existing conditions, right? Some issues that he had going into that fight. So we can say that that's a legitimate reason as to why David Benavidez wasn't cracking like he does at 168. But still, we can also say that we've seen no evidence at 175 that his power translates, right? David Morrell also, coming off of a shaky fight with Hot Rod, didn't necessarily show the power either, but also wasn't able to really connect the way he wanted to with a Hot Rod that was moving around and being slick. So we don't know. We saw David Benavidez connect with a lot of shots on Vosdick, and we didn't see Vosdick necessarily lose any motivation to come forward, or, like he didn't seem like he was really hurting Vosdick. So ultimately, David Benavidez used to fighting the way he does. What they nickname him RoboCop, right? Because they taking shots at his defense and the way he stands tall and the way he moves his feet and the way he stands. David Morrell getting David Benavidez to come through aggressive, to break his jaw, to knock him out by any means necessary. Does that fall into the lane where David Morrell needs David Benavidez to be in order for him to get his best opportunity to stop David Benavidez? I don't know. Okay, Clay Moraine, talk to us about the difference between the open workouts, Tyson and Usyk versus Morrell and David Benavidez. Oh, definitely. I mean, I think the Tyson Usyk workouts was way more civilized, right? Let's be honest. They were getting it in. They were showing you that they were in shape. Tyson Fury, by the way, he looked like he's in good shape. He didn't come in heavy like I thought he was going to come in. I don't know. Did you guys see him? Did he look like a heavy Tyson Fury? Did he look like a heavy Tyson Fury to you guys? I didn't see Tyson Fury looking that heavy. But, I mean, we can leak into that. I'll just close out and land the plane on this David Benavidez, David Morrell situation. And I'm going to say that I think David Morrell, his best opportunity is to get David Benavidez to leave his game plan. To derail David Benavidez in any kind of way, to make him upset, even though that might make David Benavidez even more dangerous. But at the same time, to get David Benavidez to get as aggressive as possible is probably David Morrell's best opportunity at walking David Benavidez into an ultimate untimely knockout, right? Because David Benavidez is used to getting hit, but he's not used to getting hit by no David Morrell's, and he's also used to getting hit to where you think that he's not really thinking about that power from David Morrell that way. Because if he is, we're going to see a boxing David Benavidez. We're not just going to see somebody who's just letting his hands go. One sacrifice about letting those hands go is that you're open to get those hands right back, right? Because if them hands is outside, they're not where they're supposed to be, which is guarding your grill piece, right? Let's keep it real. So David Morrell pushing it the way he's pushing it, look, he has nothing to lose. Let's get this guy pissed off. Let's get him super aggressive. Let's get this guy thinking about everything that I'm doing to him, and let's see what that manifests into on February 1st. That's what I think. That's what I think, guys. That's what I believe in my hearts of hearts. In my hearts of hearts. We'll see what happens. I still favor David Benavidez to take the window in that fight. I'm not going to lie, but I think this fight is obviously a 50-50 fight, super competitive fight. I think what we saw yesterday is going to make it even that much more competitive. Let's see. Benavidez will walk him down round for round. Listen, Mack it is Mack of the South. If that's the case, that's David Morrell's best chance. That's his best opportunities to fight that kind of David Benavidez. Somebody who he doesn't have to look for. Somebody who's just there, and all he has to do is figure out how to get that shot in there. That's his best chance, man. KO, yeah, Morrell might KO that boy. If he fights that way, he's going to show a lot improve. He's going to show improve. Beating a David Morrell that way, walking David Morrell down, is going to make that man look like an unstoppable force at 175. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Shovin' Lab said, yes, but if it doesn't work, Morrell going to sleep. But of course, welcome to boxing. And the cost, right? The price you pay at taking a chance at going punch for punch with somebody who supposedly got, dynamite in both hands. You take that risk. But David Benavidez is definitely in the same club as David Morrell is an understatement, right? He's definitely there to get knocked out as well. Casey the Boss, what out for the Mexican Monster? What out for the Mexican Monster? Okay. Nashaya Pacquiao went from 108 to winning a belt. Yes, you probably won't see that again this lifetime. It's unfair to compare fighters to him. No doubt. Take a seat. Morrell's in the best form. We speak. David is 2 weeks in. Wait till the last press conference. No doubt. But Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, guys. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, big rematch coming up this weekend. Tyson Fury looks like he's in great form. He's promising the knockout. He's got a little chip on his shoulder. Turkey's offering him a rematch, a trilogy. That's what he wants to see. Tyson said he's going to knock him out. I think that's music to Alexander Usyk's ear. I think he wants to a Tyson Fury who's coming for him and that he doesn't have to find is what Usyk wants, right? At the end of the day, because one of the biggest obstacles and problems that Alexander Usyk had in that last fight was what? Let me find this dude, Tyson Fury. Let me get this dude who's establishing the distance, who's moving around, who's making it hard for me to hit him. You put Tyson Fury directly in front of Alexander Usyk. What does that mean for Tyson Fury? He's going for the stoppage for sure, and we can appreciate that. That means it's going to be a great fight, but it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments in this fight, right? Interesting to see the adjustments on this fight. I think Tyson Fury came in looking pretty slim, not too slim, but look like he's in great shape. So I'm expecting that he plans on using his legs, being somewhat athletic. Let's see if that still holds true on Saturday. Got to watch out for them gloves and that diesel hand. So, yeah, Denzel. He over there in Saudi Arabia, bro. I think they're going to be watching it. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm going with Fury, no doubt. Rich Porco says Usyk probably will get 2020 Fight of the Year and Fight of the Year. No doubt, no doubt. Clout Fury said he hasn't talked to his wife in 3 months. I know, right? I didn't want to say I find it hard to believe, but it does show that he's dialed in. He wants the world to think he's dialed in at a minimum. So what does that translate into in the fight? You know what I mean? That's going to be interesting to see. Tyson getting KO, dogfight, I would not be surprised. Clay Moran, is Usyk undervalued by the boxing community because he has low knockout ratio? No. Hell nah, bro. He gets all the respect he's supposed to get, man. He's earned it. He's an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, first one in however many decades. No way is anybody undervaluing him. Not that I believe, especially now that he's with Turkey. He getting everything he wants and more. Tyson Fisher Fury, Terry Tucker, I agree. Canelo has nothing to gain from this fight. Yeah, money. That's what he got in Syria. Money to gain from this fight. Big up to Turkey. He making the fights we want to see happen. Don't say that too loud, Mac of the South. They'll come for you. Don't say that too loud. Young Poppy said, I got Usyk, man. I'm leaning towards Usyk as well in this fight, man. Even though there's some good arguments getting put out there as to why Tyson Fury is going to win this fight. He's in great shape, man. But I think the undoing of Tyson Fury is going to be him pressing Alexander Usyk. I think he's putting Alexander Usyk in the best position possible in this fight. You know what I mean? I think Usyk is athletic enough, intelligent enough, has an IQ high enough to deal with that, and not be. He was even breaking clinches. You know what I mean? Somebody brought that up, I think, yesterday. But he was. Even when Tyson Fury was trying to clinch him, he was breaking those clinches and making things happen. So Usyk's not there to be played with. He's not nobody's boy toy. Pause, right? Tyson Fury might not want to press that boy like he's small, like he don't got the energy, because he might find something out really, really opposite of that before the end of the night. Let's see here. Let's see. Fury is used to not talking to his wife for long stretches while he going off on drug binges. Ouch, Denzel. Ouch, bro. Ouch. You know what I mean? Said he's going to knock him out. He didn't say how. Oh, yeah. Maybe he hits him with a flying knee or something, right? Shutman laugh you. Maybe he just holds him and breathes him, like doesn't brush his teeth and makes him pass out. I don't know. Right? Mr. Rain, Fury didn't train properly for the first fight. Tyson Fury is so arrogant, it's a shame. That's why you saying Fury looks better and slim, because Tyson wasn't in shape. Now he is. Okay, Larry, I'm rocking with that, right? I'm rocking with that. Maybe you're right. Maybe the arrogance did get the best of him in the last fight. Maybe him being in shape was the missing piece. Maybe that's the biggest adjustment he was supposed to make that he didn't make in the last fight. You know, maybe his conditioning is on top notch. Maybe he pushes the pace and tests Alexander Usyk's conditioning, right? But also, if he is in great shape, the way he looks, and in comparison to last time, then I expect even more confident Tyson Fury. Alexander Usyk, trust me, wants Tyson Fury to not be scared of him. He wants him to press the issue. That's where the victory lies for Alexander Usyk, in my opinion. I'm telling you guys, there's a good chance that this could work out the other way for Tyson Fury. J.R. Spark, if Usyk wins, would you want to see him fight Better Biev or at a cruiserweight? Dream fantasy and reality with Turkey. Oh, would I want to see him fight at a cruiserweight fight? I don't know, man. I would love to see him fight. Why not fight a Jai Opatai, man? But I don't know if I want to see him fight at a cruiserweight. I might want to see him fight at heavyweight, right? But I'll be real with you. If Usyk wins, I want to see him fight Daniel Dubois, in heavyweight division. I'd rather see that than Jai Opatai. I think there's legacy there. I'd like to see Daniel Dubois get an opportunity for some redemption for the last fight they had. This Daniel Dubois, I would love to see in the ring with Alexander Usyk. So I think that's where I'm at with it, is seeing Alexander fight Daniel Dubois if he wins this fight, more than Jai Opatai. You know what I mean? I want to see Jai Opatai fight Gerdo. I'll be honest with you. Ramirez. That's what I want to see him fight. Khalil World, do you think EJ going to fight again? I question it, Khalil. Does EJ fight again? Listen, man, don't leave it to me, man, because I think EJ may be making one of the biggest mistakes in fighting and coming in without a tune-up. I hold issue with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Does he return for the right money? 100%. Clearly, he hasn't retired yet, but I also believe what's holding him up is business. I think the business of boxing is holding Errol Spence up. If the business of boxing moves the way it's supposed to move, the way he wants it to move, then yeah, I would anticipate seeing EJ back in the ring. But if the business isn't right, no, I don't think I would see him in the ring anytime soon. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's see. Mac of the South said, I don't see Fury retiring if he loses. Nah, if he loses, he's gonna set up a fight with AJ, man. It's too much money involved in the AJ fight. That's a fight for England. Everybody wants to see that fight. That's a big money fight. AJ's not even looking that much of a threat the way he got knocked out by Daniel Dubois. I could 100% see Tyson Fury putting something together with Anthony Joshua, even if that's the last fight, putting together a big fight like that Turkey will jump all over and pay those guys millions and millions of dollars. I mean, we're talking about Vladimir Klitschko is training again, and Turkey's trying to convince him to come back. So, losses and all that stuff isn't going to affect the bigger picture. There's somebody there to pay, and Tyson Fury loves to collect the money. So does Anthony Joshua. Let's see. I don't see Fury Bone. Better Beeve or Usyk. Better Beeve. Shut up and laugh. That's why I got Better Beeve. I know. Wait, hold on. Better Beeve or Usyk if they fight each other. Oh, I got you. Probably Usyk. I'll probably give it to Usyk. I think I'd give it to Usyk. Larry Turk, Mr. Rain, true story. Watch what I say. No doubt. Fury not pressing no one. Okay. Casey the Boss says, Rain, who are you taking in the Spence Fundora fight? I'm going with Fundora. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? If Spence does it, that'll be great as well. But I don't see nothing from Spence to convince me that I'm supposed to be thinking about him beating no damn Sebastian Fundora, an inactive guy who's been outside of the ring going on 2 years, probably be closer to about 6.5 years by the time they fight, when they finally do fight. Yeah, bro. I don't think so. Let's see here. Boxing Mode rounds. Denzel Dubois quit. No rematch. Nah, rematch, bro. Dubois is a new person, bro. He's a new guy, bro. No way, bro. We got to see them fight. That's Errol. No doubt. Mello Tanner Johnson said Turkey should start putting up a total puts in, and the winner gets 60-40. Then we would see great fights. How does the loser get smaller purse but won the title? Nah, Turkey got it perfectly put together, man. The way he paying them, they're motivated. They loving it. Let's see. Sinceria Kyle said, Claymore, I believe something is going on with Tank mentally. What do you think? Sinceria, is something going on with him mentally? Nah, man. I'm not going to put a mental diagnosis on that man. Do I think he's dealing with some of the politics of boxing in the worst way, in a way that he probably never thought he'd have to deal with, in a way that he listened to his handlers so that he wouldn't have to deal with? Yes. I think he's dealing with boxing, politics, and the business of boxing, and he's dealing with this transition that the PBC is also dealing with, leaving Showtime, that whole business model, and trying to make something profitable with this Amazon business model. I think that's definitely happening. And I think his motivation being money, I think money being an issue is messing with his motivation. And that could translate and look like mental health issues. It could look like he's dealing with something mentally. But what he probably is dealing with is the thing that he fights for is being played with. And that might be distracting him. And through that distraction, Sinceria might be giving Lamont Roach his best chance at dealing with Gervonta Tank Davis, that is really just disenchanted with the boxing space right now, disenchanted with the idea of performing, having one foot out the door, as some people might say, might be the most vulnerable Tank Davis we've seen up to date. And that gives Lamont Roach his best opportunity at making something happen. Is it enough? You know what I mean? I still favor Tank Davis, obviously, in that fight, but I think there's a good chance this fight becomes way more competitive than people thinks it is, based off of the simple disenchantment that Gervonta Tank Davis looks like he's having with the boxing space right now. So we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, the chances of that being
competitive.
I think it could be. It's going to look competitive in the beginning because Tank is a historically slow starter,
right?
And since he's a historically slow starter, then it'll look competitive in the beginning again, right? But is it actually competitive when he closed the gap? He's familiar with Tank, but again, they was 15 years old.
Oh,
that ain't the same Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because he ain't the same, that's going to garner Tank to also be a feeling out process. You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, Tank has matured and grown so much that it's not even funny. Travion 2 Trill says Spence versus Thurman. I don't know what that is.
He'll never do it.
Oh, he'll never do it. Yeah,
he's gonna look at it as a tune-up. He's gonna completely diss that fight.
Yeah, Denzel Roach would have lost to Hector if Tank didn't knock him out. Yeah, he would have been more confident. He would have been more aggressive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that, again, it's all hypothetical because we don't know. But what we do know is that Lamont Roach had a tough fight with Hector Garcia.
Right.
And he won a split decision. You know what I mean? That he needed that late knockdown to win the fight.
100%.
He needed that.
100%. 100%.
And that knockdown was the difference. Without the knockdown, he might not win that fight. And again, Clay, the triangle theory don't work, right?
No, not at all.
So just because you struggle in that fight don't mean you're going to struggle. Surprisingly, may not struggle with Tank. You know, so who knows? You know what I mean? I hope for our sake, it's a competitive fight.
Right. 100%.
So, but the chances of it being a competitive fight, I think that, again, Tank fights always look competitive in the first 5 rounds. Frank Martin fight, Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, who else? They all look competitive.
Right.
Rolly, people even said Rolly was winning. Remember that, Clay?
Yeah.
People were saying, man, Rolly was winning the fight. I ain't see that, but
it was competitive is what it is. They see competitive.
Right.
They think if it's competitive, the other guys win the fight because they expect Tank to dominate.
Right. It's like the situation with Boots, the expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, is it going to be competitive? Very possible. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, again, I just don't see it going.
Yeah, I don't see it. I favor Tank. I can't help but favor Tank in any case scenario, but I do. Today I was talking about it and just saying, man, if we're going to go ahead and, I know we discredit the fight to a degree, that the fact that this is the fight the fans wanted, but ultimately, no matter how we break it down, it's happening. And it's happening March 1st. The fight is happening. So, I decided to tap in and be like, listen, let's figure out where this fight is competitive at. How does this fight become competitive? How does it become a fight? What's the best opportunity Lamont Roach has to win this fight or make this fight as competitive as possible? So, because even in a super competitive fight with Tank Davis, in a loss with a super competitive fight, if he makes it to the 12th round and doesn't get knocked out, it's a moral victory in many ways. It takes his market value to a certain place,
Right.
Tank not being mentally dialed in all the way for this fight is something that Lamont Roach has got to hope for. He mentioned in the press conference saying that he's hearing Tank Davis is not dialed in on boxing, that he's not focused on boxing, that he's been distracted. How true was that? I don't know. People talk at press conferences and try to stir things up to put things going on. But when we're looking at what's happening with Tank with the PBC, rumors are going around and circulating about his relationship with Kenny and Calvin. Obviously, his money that he's not happy about completely. And being that money is what motivates him.
No, let me correct you, Clay. It wasn't the money; it's the venue.
Well, okay. Well, the
Not
venue's
no his money is straight. He good on money.
He 100. He 100 on the money.
Money is good. It's the venue.
Better than it's ever been.
It's the venue. He upset that he didn't get the venue, not the money.
Right. Right.
You know,
this Tank may be a Tank not dialed in, man. He might not be dialed in. We don't know if he is or if he isn't, but if he isn't dialed in, that's something for Lamont Roach to pick at, take advantage of.
Right. So, you know, the thing is ultimately, you know, it's styles make fights, and Leonard Ellerbe is right when he says there's levels. There is levels inside the ring.
Right.
Inside the ring. Right. If he if he looks at it from a standpoint of just the fighters, right? The talents. And again, it's no slight to Lamont Roach, but we've seen Lamont Roach in there with Jamel. We have data.
Right.
Right. Can he take his talent? Can he take his game to the next level? 1,000%.
Right.
And maybe it's the fight that he needs to shake him up. Right. It happens in all sports. Right.
Right.
Right. NFL, you get a quarterback, all of a sudden something clicks.
Right.
And he never looked back. You know what I mean? In NBA, you know what I'm saying? Something clicks, you never look back. You know what I mean? And it's like then they look at the past and be like, man, how could what happened here to here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you look at today's time with Sam Bradford with the Vikings. It's like, bro, he don't look nothing like the same quarterback he was with the Jets and who was the Jaguars or whoever else team he was with, right? It's like, how did you miss the ball on that? But it just something can click. Right. So is it possible that something clicks for is it possible that something clicks for Lamont Roach and this is what he needs and his career changes around? Another fighter, right, Clay? Bernard Hopkins. Remember, he lost his first fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then look, then there's something clicked. And look who Bernard Hopkins is today. Manny Pacquiao getting knocked out twice in his career, early in his career. Something clicked. You know what I'm saying? And look who Manny Pacquiao turned out to be. You know what I'm saying? Something may click with Lamont Roach. And he might be like, okay, the light bulb's on. Oh, I needed to do X, Y, and Z. And this might be the fight he needs to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So maybe this is it. You know what I mean? When Barrera beat Prince Nassim Hamed, his career went to another level. You know what I mean? So maybe this is it. Maybe this is what he needed. You know what I mean? And we'll find out. You know what I mean? But I personally wouldn't bet on it.
Oh, me neither. Me neither.
No, I wouldn't bet on it.
I'm just giving the best case scenario for Lamont Roach, in my opinion, is that he catches a Tank that's not focused and Tank just walks into something or doesn't take the training camp seriously or doesn't train like he's supposed to or, you know, something along them natures. That's what I would see as being a reason why. But I think you get I'm gonna tell you right now, the Tank that fought oh shit, I'm tripping. If Tank comes in the way he fought Frank Martin, he gonna devastate that dude. The Frank Martin version, the Tank that came in there, that
was just super aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive, set him up with the feints. I mean, that fight with Frank Martin was one of, in my opinion, Tank Davis's best fights. I know you brought up Coella as one of those fights. I think that Frank.
Did you watch that fight?
Yeah, I did. I ended up watching. I watched it while we was right here, while we was talking. I was watching.
What'd you think?
Yeah, man, he had set him up the whole time. He was working him. It's something to watch Tank work, man. When he's in his best form is completely knowing what that other guy's going to do before he does it and using that guy's own weapons and setting him up, walking him, moving him as he sees fit to walk him to those shots. He knew that he was going to attack that boy's body. He knew it was available. He stopped that boy with that body shot, and you saw him setting it up very early in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That's when he's his best. The same thing with Frank. You saw it by the end of round 2, you saw it. By the end of round 2, if you watch me when I did my live, I'm like, oh, he about to knock him out. I see what he's doing. If Frank doesn't recognize what he's doing and he's continuing to do it, he's about to catch him. And he did it. He beat him, fainted him into position, and then ended him.
Yeah. Mello, brother, back in the super chat. He said AI judge for Saturday fight, but won't count. Yeah. I know a lot of people was talking about that. You know what I mean? I'm not against it. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Let's whatever. It can't be worse than movie. I mean, we just saw a judge give give Liam Parrow the fight over Richardson Hitchens. Like, bro, how much worse could it be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that is, if that's not diabolical, I don't know what is. Mm-hmm. But another thing is, Clay, that it goes to what you was just saying, is that if he does part ways with Calvin and Kenny and goes into this fight without them and unfocused,
I don't believe he does that, but yeah, if he does.
But just say he does, right?
Right.
That could be another distraction.
100%. 100%.
That could be another situation where he's distracted with not having his initial team in the corner, you know, and things of that nature. That could work against him. That could be part of the distraction.
100%. 100%.
So who knows? You know what I mean? I just think that he's just a seasoned vet at this point in time. I just think that, you know, once he's dialed in completely in the camp, I don't think that he'll be distracted. And I don't think Tank is not somebody that goes against his familiarity. So if he did leave Calvin and Kenny, it won't be for somebody he don't know. You know what I'm saying? It'll be somebody he's familiar and comfortable with.
Right. He
ain't going to leave them and be in this situation where he got to figure it all out again. He ain't going to do that.
Right.
No, I just have a hard time believing that to be the case. You know what I'm saying? So it's a strong possibility he could be distracted. You know what I mean? But I want to talk about this last thing, then we up out of here, Clay. I'm still torn, man. Who wins, David Morrell, David Benavidez?
Oh, man, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, man. I was saying to myself, and I was talking to the chat, actually. I was saying to the chat, I said, who actually benefited from the escalation yesterday? Who actually walked away with some leverage that he didn't walk into that press conference with? You know, I said arguably David Benavidez is the more experienced professional fighter. And I always say that in reference to, let's keep in mind that we're not acknowledging that amateur background that David Morrell brings to the table as well, which we know we celebrate the Cuban amateur circuit the same way we celebrate the Eastern European one. So that factors in. But in the professional space, just to not argue about it, David Benavidez brings that experience to the table. Organized boxing as we know it in the professional space, David Benavidez on paper is better and more experienced than David Morrell. David Morrell brings the fight. He's a fighter. He has power in both hands. He brings that excommunicator, right? That melatonin pill shot, you know what I mean, that he can do it any given Sunday. Now, David Benavidez being amped up that way and talking about knocking his head off and saying that's all the motivation he needs. If he comes in this fight fighting, doesn't that give David Morrell his best opportunity to win this fight? Isn't David Morrell's worst nightmares that David Benavidez would try to box and that David Morrell would have to figure out somebody who has that kind of experience? Isn't a David Benavidez coming forward, headhunting, letting his hands go consistently, which people don't acknowledge enough, that when you let your hands go like that, it's awesome on the offensive side, but defensively, it's what gets David Benavidez talked about. They call him RoboCop, because you're letting your hands go without any regards for keeping your head off the line. Now, you said you were going to improve on that in multiple ways with Caleb Plant and things of that nature, but it's arguable to say that Caleb Plant outboxed the living daylights out of you until you finally, you know what I'm saying, did what you did with him. So we didn't see it there, right? With Demetrius Andrade, he didn't have the power to translate over to manifest the things that he was doing to make them like slow you down. You become very confident and cocky at getting hit and coming straight forward. That's why they call you the monster, right? But do you want to be the monster with a David Morrell? You have no height advantages. You have no reach advantages. You don't have these advantages. Walking down David Morrell and trying to go head hunting on him like it's a Caleb Plant or Andre Durrell or whoever else you've done the things that you've done to could be the end and could be the thing that tricked you out of your position. I think going into this fight, I gotta still favor David Benavidez because he brings that experience, but I definitely give David Morrell a way better chance of winning than I did yesterday, keeping in mind that I already thought it was damn near 50-50 fight. So take that for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, I'm so concerned with it's, again, like you said, it's hard to pick against David Benavidez.
Mm-hmm.
Because of his experience and because of his work rate and his durability, so on and so forth, right? So it's extremely hard to pick against him, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're just looking at the flaws, it's like David Morrell, it's almost like his style is tailor-made for David Morrell, right?
Like a Vernon in Chain, right?
Yeah, it's like you just, their styles for David Morrell, in favor of David Morrell, their styles would fit like a glove. This is the perfect fight. Like he's come forward, he plied forward, like you say, he's very aggressive, and we've seen him getting outboxed. Andre was having moments. Right. Andre is not as big as Morrell, not as strong as Morrell, not as and he's way more active. You know what I'm saying? Than Andre was. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if and it's like you said, taking them punches from Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade ain't taking the same punches from David Morrell. It's not the same thing. And he's more accurate than Andrade and Caleb Plant.
100%.
All right. And he's just more decisive, right? I'm nervous for David Benavidez, bro.
Yeah, I wonder. Like I said, that press conference yesterday was potentially a pivot in the leverage. You know, David Morrell may have. I was talking to Ray about it earlier, and I do give. It's like David Benavidez kind of fed into it and kind of on the surface looked like he took it from David Morrell by taking his belt off and pushing him and doing all that. But ultimately, David Morrell's the one who came with the energy. He changed the energy. When David Benavidez came out with that handshake, and David Morrell didn't shake his hand back, he let it be known. He was the one who let it be known. Ain't nothing friendly getting here. Now, David Benavidez got unfriendly at that point, but he only did that to match David Morrell's energy, right? To match the energy that he came in there. David Morrell came in with a mission. And in so many ways, he won that press conference based off of the emotions that he was able to pull out of David Benavidez. You know what I mean? It works out for David Morrell, in my opinion. It's a win for David Morrell, in my opinion, press conference wise. What does that look like in the ring? Does that manifest into David Morrell? Does he get David Benavidez to do the final most diabolical thing he could do, which is get him to be over aggressive? in that fight, to be overcommitted to stopping him because of the anger of what he said about his father, about the things that he said about his child, about the RoboCop excuses, about just treating him the way he did. Is that the demise, the shortfall? You know what I mean? The what is it? The fall, the meteoric fall of the giant David Benavidez, because he gave in a little bit too much and allowed this guy to get some free rent space in his head and walks into his demise. Whoa, the fight is way more interesting today than it was the day before yesterday.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. Nick J, the Queen, she said, David is always friendly until he's not. And most times it doesn't end well for the party that instigated it. Mm-hmm. This is true. The difference is, Nick J, is that David Morrell
is not everybody else.
Big and strong. He don't have a physical advantage over him. I think his hands are slightly faster, right?
Dave Morrell?
David Benavidez.
Benavidez got fast hands.
Yeah.
But I think David Morrell's able to generate more power.
Yeah. Because David Benavidez at times arm punches.
Right.
It's just like, like that.
Right.
Where Morrell is sitting down, bang, bang, bang. It's just so fast and accurate.
Right.
I don't know, man, Clay. This is
a super 50-50 fight. This is a super 50-50 fight. It's 100% a 50-50 fight.
What you fight of the year?
Potential. He definitely fight of the year candidate. Definitely. 100%. Right there. 100%. 100%.
Can you
answer it?
Can you see Castillo Morales type of fight?
Yeah, man. Castillo Morales was a crazy fight. Yes, I can see it. I can see it all there. I look, both contenders or champions are very willing. Very willing. You know what I mean? Yeah. To trade and to keep this fight in the middle of the ring. Nobody's going to be running around. Nobody's going to be trying to finesse and be slick. It's going to be flat-footed. You know what I mean? David Morrell, I think, brings the athleticism in the ring, in my opinion, which we'll see if he taps into that and uses that. I think he will. And then David Benavidez is going to be on a mission to show he's dominating. And that's going to look like aggression. It's going to look like a lot of punches. You know what I'm saying? A high volume of punches. It's going to look like all those things. David Morrell is going to have an opportunity to show improve. He's going to get an opportunity to show improve. He's going to have one. The opportunities are going to manifest in there because of the way David Benavidez comes forward. There's going to be opportunities in there for him to show improve. But also, it's going to be opportunities to show for David Benavidez to separate himself from the whole entire division, because if he's able to walk through all that, get through all that aggressive, who do I see in at 175 who's going to bring the aggression that David Morrell's about to bring? I'm sure there's one or two, but for the most part, David Benavidez is going to be tried true, and we're going to all understand why Canelo Alvarez don't want nothing to do with that boy.
Yeah, I can't wait. But with that said, click the link, subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain. The link is pinned up in the chat. Click that link and subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Make sure y'all hit the like button here. Hit the subscribe button. And with that said, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. That's all we got for y'all. And Nick J. Queen, I didn't forget about you, Queen. Peace and blessings to each and every one of y'all. Much love. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.